What's good? What's good? What's goody? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie. It is B Boys Underground episode number 62. We thought number 61 was going to be the final episode of 2024, but we've got a very special one. So the very last Sunday of 2024, we're going to go out with 2024 with a bang. But first up, we got a familiar face back. We got the one and only Mr. Big Weeze. Welcome back, family. Good to have you back. How you
Mr.
doing?
Weeze.
What's going on? What's going on? It feels good to be back. I feel at home again. You know, the Box State Bully returning is what it's about. So let's get it going.
Hell yeah, man. And then, of course, we got the one and only Bluebeard, a.k.a. Mad Ways. What's goody?
What's good, Boogie? What up, Big Weez, and what up, Marcus, man? Glad to
Yes,
be
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, the guest of the hour, the one, the only, Mr. Marcus Raymond in the house. What's goody? And welcome to B-Boys Underground. Salute. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you for having me, Mad Ways, Big Weeze. You know how we do it. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it, Boogie, for sure.
Oh,
Let's get
man.
to it.
Thank you. So, we got a lot to cover. That's the reason why we're not even starting with any music or anything like that. So let's get down to business for you folks that are going to watch this on the replay. Shame, because you could have actually asked questions in the chat live. For you folks that are here tuning in live, salute. Make sure you let everybody know we're live right now. Share out the streams, hit the like, follow, subscribe, all notification bell, and let's get into it. So the first thing we always ask, we got to start at the foundation, and the foundation is in all of our lives we have those memories that we associate things with, the first memories. And I always want to know what the first memory is that you have that you associate with hip-hop music.
Who you want to take first, or who you want to go?
It's all you, bro.
Guys, this is all you. This is your show.
My first association with hip hop music, or just music in general?
Memory, the first memory that you have associated with hip hop music. Like,
Oh man,
what's that childhood memory? And it's like, this is, I remember this because the first, MC I remember, or the first song, or the first video,
Tape.
or whatever.
First tape, something.
Whatever.
I think it was. I got to go with NWA, man. NWA. Ice Cube, LL. I mean, well, I'm gonna say LL Cool J too, though, because we was on some. But coming from LA, because I'm from LA, it was all day long NWA, Snoop Dogg. Really, just NWA was my first introduction to real or gangster rap. Let's say that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So yeah, I'll say NWA just because of the type of environment I was in at the time. I'm an Inglewood baby, so living in Inglewood in South Central, that's all we heard. You heard the six foes, riding down the street, and out the window was NWA. Fuck the police. So yeah, man, NWA was my first go around to just hip hop music, and I fell in love with it after that.
Damn. What kind of music did you grow up listening to? Like, what kind of music was being played in the home when you were growing up?
Man, I grew up with my grandmother. Man, she was murdered in '89, but my nana, man, she old school. Temptations, Isley Brothers, Michael Jackson, Prince. So I was really I was the kid that snuck away to listen to rap music. I grew up in a Baptist church, so First AME Church, in LA, um, was my first introduction to just gospel music. And so, I fell in love with the church at that point because that's all we really had. Um, but yeah, man, when I got around my other peers in the neighborhood, that's all that they was listening to as well. So it was like I couldn't get away from it if I tried to. But in the household, Temptations, Isley Brothers, come on, man. Sam Cooke, everything, man. Aretha Franklin, you can go all the way back. Michael Jackson was the main one though, because I mimicked him. Danced like him, sang, did all that, man. It was just those type of times growing up in the '70s. I'm a '70s baby, so we had the real vinyl, that real sound. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yes, sir.
definitely.
So when it came to the whole debate back in the day, was Prince or Michael, you were Team Michael
All day. But well,
all day.
not yeah. Everybody was. You know what I mean? It was just you can't say that, one hand or the other. It's just, they both was in that R&B soul genre.
Oh yeah.
But Michael was just a more worldwide artist. He Bucharest and all. He couldn't go nowhere without nobody knowing who Mike was, man. And same with Prince. You can't take nothing away from Prince. May both of them rest, rest easy. But Michael was my man. That was just, Jackson 5, man. Yeah, definitely. Michael Jackson for sure.
Hell yeah. Salute. So yeah, I guess so. Growing up listening to NWA, that was something that was taboo, right? Because that was. How did you feel the very first time growing up listening to soul, gospel, where people weren't cursing and they very much weren't even getting like there was social conscious records, but it wasn't as abrasive or political to the scale that what you would say hip hop was, and especially NWA of all groups.
Well, taboo is a good word to use for it, but it's just, I learned to adapt to it. Music is more spiritual than people think, man, and so it gives you a feeling. It makes you feel a certain way. So, I could turn it off and turn it on at any given time. So whether it was gospel or whether it was, the NWAs or the Dr. Dre's, it was just a moment for me. The feeling that I got from it, man, in my environment in LA, it was just walk out your door and you get what you get type shit. So, on Sundays, did I want to go to church? Hell no. My grandmother, she made me go. It was just kind of like, you gonna go to church. And so it wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you had to sit in them pews. You had to go, stay there for the 10, 12 hours or go leave, come back, eat the shit. It was all that. But, when I got home, it was a feeling in me that, you know, uh, soul is just the soul music, man. I hate really putting stuff in a bucket, or, in a box and saying this is rock and roll or, this is R&B soul. You know what I mean? It's art, but at the same time, it's a feeling that you get from all of it. So going from soul to R&B is art. So it wasn't hard for me to just, play both sides of it because I felt both sides of everything musically.
Absolutely, that's dope.
What was that moment, Marcus, that you realized, you know what, I'm gonna pick up this mic, I'm gonna become a recording artist? What was that moment? What were you doing in that space in that time?
I think in high school, man, I went to two different high schools. Like I said, my grandmother, she was murdered back in '89. So when that happened, my family just, went northeast, south. Um, so I think when I was in high school, man, in West Covina, I went to Nogales High School in West Covina, and I was in a couple of groups. Uh, we sounded more like a production company. It was called Positive Productions. It wasn't even really I don't know where we came up with the name from. Don't ask me. I can't begin to tell you. But it was three of us, man. And I just think, the pep rallies before the football games, they would, we would get into the the auditorium and the basketball and shit, man. And we would just perform, and it was something that we would do even if we left, even if we wasn't on the campus, we would do it when we was off campus. So I think that when I was in high school and I was in that group and we was able to go to them pep rallies and walk around school and the girls pointing like, them is the ones, them is the, them do that or saying that. That's when I knew, man. I was like, just that feeling of being in front of my peers though. And this is in high school and hearing them go crazy like they did for us. That was just, it was insane, man. The feeling I got, the adrenaline rush. I said, I'm doing this. This is what I want to do. So I would say like, not even, I'll take you back when my grandmother was alive and the Michael Jackson we was just talking about and all that. I would be the only kid in the family, man. She would let come stay in the, up at night. Kids ain't supposed to be in the house with, and where the grown folks is at. You're supposed to be sleep playing with the kids. So I was the only one able to go and do Michael Jackson in the kitchen in my onesie and do all the sliding moves and the kicks and had the glove and the jerry curl. I had it all. You know what I mean? I did. So, but I was the only one able to stay up, man, and just actually go into my element with that. So to answer your question, Weeze, that was the first time, man. My grandmother, she pretty much instilled that in me. She saw something in me that my own parents couldn't recognize or failed to recognize. You know what I mean? So, and I get into my family a little bit later, but my grandmother, Miss Bernice Rivers, yeah, she was the one, bro. My nana was the one.
Hell yeah.
And we always, I think everybody, man, they always have that one family member that latches on to you for something, because I couldn't sell drugs for shit.
You mentioned that. You mentioned that.
I'm gonna just be honest. I couldn't sell drugs for shit, man. I tried it. You know what I mean? Like gang banging and all that. It's just, my uncles and you got OGs that tell you, that's not gonna be the life for you. Like you're gonna do this, you're gonna play basketball, you're gonna sing, you're gonna rap, you're gonna do something. Chris Rock said it.
How's that, being around that? Because every rapper I know from Inglewood, every rapper I know from Long Beach, Oakland, South Central, they all gang affiliated. How did you keep yourself away from gangs to focus on yourself and your mentality? Because I know that's a tough lifestyle. Man,
the grace of God. And having, the couple of family members that I did have, man, because there's not too many fathers in the household, period. But we'll get into that discussion later. But I had uncles and cousins, that was a little bit older than me. And then, being in junior high school, I go back, man. I used to go to school with Jaleel White, Urkel, in Pasadena, California, man. And so at a young age, junior high school, only thing that we could reflect on was the people that we was around. So, even though I had like the couple of family members I did have, those was the ones that put their arms around me, man, and was like, And then actually to go out there with a rock, and you come back and bring back the wrong amount of money, you causing all kind of shit. Like you don't know what you putting this person into, but you young. So I got put to the test at a young age. It was like either you going like Chris Rock, you got a wicked jump shot like Jay-Z said, or you gonna swing this rock. So hip hop, it all ties into the hustle, man. Like LA is just a fast paced environment for any kid to be in that situation, to even have to walk out their front door and try to figure out, okay, is a bullet gonna hit me today, or seeing the helicopter over your house all day long? You know what I mean? We'll probably get into me and your situation a little bit later, but yeah, LA's a dangerous place. I think anywhere, man, where there's a hood or anything like that, man, it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But as a kid, some of the shit that I was witnessing, ain't no way I should have saw what I saw. So it was just by God, man, that I was able to duck that. The gang life, because it was right around the corner, as we know, it was right around the corner, right there in front of my face. And I'm not going to say I wasn't affiliated, or I'm not going to say that I couldn't have been. I got family right now, both sides, Crips and Bloods. Our family reunions is crazy, but that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And so, we family at the end of the day. But back then in the 70s, it was, especially when crack came in the 80s, man, it wasn't about banging in. You stepping over bodies and alleys trying to get out the way. You feel me? Like it was a war zone.
At a young age. Men of society type instead of the boys in the hood.
Worse, because that's scripted. It's scripted. A lot of this shit is scripted, homie. You can't say that, oh, okay, well, I know what this is like unless you done step foot in it. The shit I'm finna tell y'all tonight, I can't tell you unless I lived it. So, when you in them environments and you in that situation, bro, like only way you know how is what's going on around you and your fortitude and in your mind. Am I strong enough to deal with this shit? Because a lot of kids, look at Columbine out there where you at, Weez, in Colorado. Them kids went up in there and shot that shit up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, if you're not mentally stable to go through that shit, you're gonna break. But luckily I didn't break. I was strong enough because I had a vision, bro. Like I knew what I want. I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to be that nigga at a young age because of my grandmother. She was the one that held it down for everybody, really. So it wasn't no question whether or not I was gonna make it out. I just better not come home with that shit when my grandmother was there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh, yeah, everybody got that big mama just like that, bro. What you do in the streets, keep it in the streets. Don't bring it in my house.
Don't ever come around it. Don't bring that shit up in here because grandma's gonna tell you to get the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna beat you. That just it was just, man. Go ahead though. But yeah, today it's a different era now. different day and age now. So yeah.
But you know, it is very much important that this the experience that you live and have lived, you know, you share that with folks so they don't have to, and try to do it, because you know, and unless you really live the trauma. I mean, you think about, like you mentioned, the movies Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and for someone in Cincinnati, Ohio, you know, that's what I saw colors. I saw what was cinema. I saw in music videos, those things, right? I knew the hood and and where what it was like where I was at, but
Right. It was
it's
a hood.
different
It was a hood there too though.
everywhere. Well, there's absolutely, but one man's journey, you know, trauma to one man, this what you can endure and what another person can endure is completely different because of, you know, what your baseline levels are, your
Right.
stressors are, right? So what you got to see day in, day out, it became a norm to you, right?
Right.
And very much shapes who you are, and determines how you act and what you do with it, your life. And I just say all of that to salute, but it is important that we recognize that you very much are out here sharing, and you have a podcast that you're launching and a book that's coming out on May or March, or
April.
it was
April.
April
April
5th,
5th.
April
Yeah, yeah.
5th. I
Birthday
wanted to
lunch.
say
Birthday
May
lunch. Birthday
4th,
lunch.
but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
April 5th. Yeah,
And
April 5th.
it's to tap into that, man, with the book. It's called Tragedy to Triumph, man. And so there's many irons in the fire. Not to cut you off though, and I apologize if I
No,
did, but
please. No, 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 no. Go
you
for it,
know,
man.
uh, it's really been a long time coming for me. Especially the places I've been and seen and where I've come from. Um, it was like destiny, like my fate. Like, you know what your fate is. Like, you kind of just you put yourself. I was homeless, man. I didn't went through it all. So this book and whatever I can't answer today or tonight will be in that book. Just because of I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I don't want to let too much out,
This
but
is the
I will.
trailer.
I will give you the raw. You know what I mean, and that about this business because that's just what we're here for. But at the same time, you got to know it's just not even about the business, really. If we all got goals, we all got ambitions, we all got we want to be successful. So just know there's a price to pay with all of that. So it just depends on whether or not you want to be that successful to pay that price later on because it's gonna come. And it's gonna knock on your door sooner than you think. But you know, you got to place your feet, man, into the situations that you want to be in, not the situations you don't.
Yes, sir. So
Hell
mentioning
yeah.
to transitioning forward to, you know, you had your first group and the production company, you know, and fast forward to you start working or being in the same circle and group because you listen to NWA coming up, and then all of a sudden you're around in the industry with Death Row Records in it and around that camp. And
That didn't
how,
happen. That didn't happen till later. That didn't
how did
happen
that
till later.
how did you get to
Okay,
there? Like
so
where is that?
so from the time of me being in high school, like I told you, I went to school with Urkel, with Jaleel White. What's up, my nigga? That's
Yes.
my homie. And so in this process, man, of being in LA, because my mother and father, I had an abusive father, man, and so he used to do my mom dirty. And so like, we was always moved around. So like I was saying, I lived in LA, North Hollywood, West Covina. I went to high school in West Covina. Uh, all the way up until my junior year, and then I had to move again. I was staying with my uncle and my cousin at the time, so I wasn't settled at all, man. Like coming from LA, it was kind of like get in where you fit in. Like when crack hit LA in 83, 84, that shit tore my family up, bro. I seen it
Hmm.
tear many families up. So my house off of Century Boulevard, you already know, Mad Ways. I'm on Century,
Mm-hmm.
right across from Jesse Owens Park, man. Right there, my
Yeah.
my grandmother's house was right across the street from Jesse Owens Park, man. So man, we seen a lot back then, and I was 13, fresh. You know what I mean? So from there to catch up from my young youth, which was the streets, doing Michael Jackson on weekends and all that, and trying to find my way of what the fuck I'm gonna do. No father, no mentor, no nothing. My mom, she just passed away last year. Uh, she was a flight attendant. She was a flight attendant for Continental back then, and so she was always flying and shit. So we had to stay with my grandmother. Her mother, we had to stay with her. And so, man, just being moved around. And when I went to Nogales and I was in that first group, I said, this is what I want to do. But then when I had to move again, so I left West Covina or LA or whatever you want to. I left there and moved to Houston, and went to a high school out there called Kingwood, nothing but white folks, 85% white boys. So, but I stood out, man, because of my personality. Played on the football team, all the basketball. We was doing all that shit. I was only black. I was only nigga on the basketball squad, bro. So that tell you right there. You know what I mean? But I learned about culture and life there. You know what I mean? Like it turned me on from coming from a public school from LA, and then in this school, it got elevator in it and all this other shit. So I was all about survival mode at that time. It wasn't until I graduated in Houston and I moved back to LA is when death row was in my sights. Now, when I went back to LA, when I graduated in Houston, I went to go stay in Monrovia with my sister. And so this is when I was telling you earlier, I used to dance on Soul Train, Misdemeanor, you know what I'm saying? And I met a bunch of people, bro. Like I met Ice Cube, Eric Benet. What's happening, Eric Benet? Everybody, man, Mac 10, everybody. It was just, if you know anything in Hollywood, man, off of Gower, that's where we used to film Soul Train at. Rest in peace to Don Cornelius. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles was right down the street from there and shit. We would, right when we would finish filming, we go right to Roscoe's, you know what I'm saying, have some waffles, and you know what I mean? But that's where I met everybody, bro, and it kicked off from there because I already was in music. I already wanted to do music. All I needed to do was be in the place where they did it at. And so I was like, okay, well, this is where it's at, Hollywood. Boom. And so from Monrovia, I catch 3 buses to get to Hollywood, just to get to Gower, because in Monrovia by Pasadena, mad ways, coming from Pasadena, you got to catch some buses to get to, you know what I mean? Like you got to go through here, you got to Skid Road, you got to go through this alley. It's crazy. But I made it, and I did it every fucking weekend, bro. Every Saturday and Sunday, I did that. We filmed twice every day. Got done with that, man. And once I got done with Soul Train, once that kind of wore off, I was in college. It's still while I'm in Monrovia. I'm going to Citrus College in Monrovia. I'm playing ball. I'm hooping niggas up. I got a jump shot out this world. My cousin is Lucius Harris. That's a whole nother story. But look, I'm in college. I'm thinking I'm going to be Jordan. I'm going to go D1. I'm in a JUCO, living with my sister in Monrovia. I'm driving a Nissan 280ZX on expired tags just to get to school, right? But I know I'm trying to do music, so I'm hooping and shit. Long story short, I don't know if I'm going off a tangent or not. I'm just
no, you good, bro. We got to know your background.
Long stories are good stories. Long stories are good stories. Please.
But you're gonna see in the book when you read it in the book, it's gonna come full circle for you. So as I'm going to college, man, I'm hooping and shit. My boys from the neighborhood, we all playing ball together. Like, I don't even know these niggas. I just happen to be the missing link to these niggas that's in Monrovia because I'm coming from Houston. I didn't know nobody. I was just there with my sister. So I ended up getting introduced to some dudes who was around my age in Monrovia in that neighborhood. So we ended up linking up, clicking up, and they my best friends to this day. So we ended up hooping in this tournament, Venice Beach and shit. If anybody know about Venice Beach, we would go out there every Friday, Saturday, kick it on Sundays and shit, and then go to Crenshaw and watch the 6 foes hop up and down and shit and, talk to females and shit. That's just what we did every Sunday. But we went and played in this tournament out there, man, and we ended up getting picked up to go to France to play ball in France. And so 8 of us went. All the homies, the 8 niggas that I fucked with in Monrovia, Colorado, one right now is an Apple Music. He's an executive for Apple Music right now. This nigga back in the day in our 20s, nigga was in France with me in Paris talking about some bonjour, ooh, we didn't know shit. But we in Paris, France in our 20s, nigga, out there living our best life, hooping these motherfuckers up, bro, right? So I come back from France. I'm still in Morovia. I come back from France. And I'm like, man, I need to do something with my life. Like this ain't, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going back to college. My homeboy name is Dwayne Turrentine. He was a model for Calvin Klein. And if you remember him, he was on the cover with Naomi Campbell. He was in the group Quo with Wade Robson on Michael Jackson's label, MJJ Records. They was the first rap group off of Michael Jackson's label named Quo. So my best friend is Dwayne Turrentine. His name was Psycho in the group, right? So he 15, 16 at the time, nigga. I'm 21, 22 in Morovia. And his DJ, Lydell 1200, his DJ and shit was older than him, so he was probably around my same age. Me and him used to kick it in Pasadena, California. And so that's how I got introduced to Dwayne, who was 15 at the time. They signed to Michael Jackson. There's some shit that, let me not say that. But anyway, so I'm in both of their videos, Heartbreak Hotel and Quo Phone, right? Michael Duncan from Green Mile, he's in the Heartbreak Hotel video, lifting weights and shit. There's a piece he got in there. Michael Clark Duncan, he's in the Heartbreak Hotel video. Rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan. But Psycho, man, was 15. I'm on his tour bus. You feel me? So I'm getting closer and closer. Like, I'm just like, damn, this is what's going on. I'm seeing 30, 40-year-old women banging on his door. Like, it's just everywhere. He's 15. But I'm driving my Nissan. He want to kick it with us. He don't want to. His mom had just brought a Benz, and I ain't gonna put too much of his info out there, but this shit funny as hell. He always wanted to, if you know a Nissan 280ZX, he got the hatchback on the back. His mom just bought that new bubble-eyed Mercedes with the bubble-eye egg lamps on the eyes, and he never wanted to ride with her. He always wanted to ride with us, me and Lydell. And it's a two-seater, so it's just 1, 2, and in the hatchback. And I had a house. So we driving to all his videos at Venice Beach, Heartbreak, Cold Funk. We doing all that. So that was my end right there. But so I'm kicking it with Dwayne, me and Psycho. We like this. That's my ace to this day. He took me to Can-Am Studios, man, and changed my life forever. If you know about Can-Am Studios in Tarzana, California, I met Danny Boy, Kurupt, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, any Battle Cat. I knew Battle Cat's son Blue when he was a little bitty baby, like just walking around in diapers. But when he took me there, he introduced me to Battle Cat. And if you know who Battle Cat is, he's one of the most premier producers, engineers, DJs in LA in the world. He up there with like DJ Quick, but I ain't gonna even talk about. I'm gonna just stick to this right here. But that's how I met Battle Cat. Nothing to say bad about DJ Quick. That's my nigga too. So. Or not to say DJ Quick, I don't want to mix, the shit up, but Battle Cat, I met him, we talked, we had a little interaction. He took me in the back to Be Brazil. Be Brazil is on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack at the time, or where they was recording it. And so I'm back there with LT, the lead singer, and I'm in there, he on the piano, and we back there just, we vibing out. Like, it was just something like, I don't even know, like God was just like, here, you need to be right here. Not in the streets, not gang banging, not selling no dope. You need to be right here. And so we stayed there for a long time, man, until I left. But I seen a lot of shit happen in that studio too, though, man. We was just a lot of weed, a lot of niggas, a lot of people just sitting around and, Battle Cat playing beats and then, everybody trying to get on the beat, Pac running around loud, he doing his thing. Pac is an Energizer bunny. He was just, everywhere. Snoop Dogg over there rolling, he rolling up. Daz and Kurupt, they smoking. This females over here. That was the life. But we did that a lot at Death Row. So when we got done with that, man, my life just kind of took. I think it was around the time my sister ended up getting divorced, and I knew it was time for me to make a stance for myself to do something in this industry. But to answer your question, man, that's what led up to Death Row is my homeboy Dwayne Turrentine, man. He introduced me to them cats. And like the Up in Smoke tour, 2000, Eminem, but all that shit played. I graduated in '93, so a lot of that. You want to talk about 2000? After that, I'm living in Chatsworth, and Tupac brother, like my mom, she passed away. Man, she had lupus. Like I said before, she passed away a year ago. So she came to live with us in Chatsworth. I was with a label or with a management company at the time, not a label, but a management company called Pound for Pound. And one of my boys, Shaggy, right now, he's a factor in LA right now with Chris Brown. He got some shit going on called Bust It right now. Chris Brown got his own strain out right now called Bust It. So my homeboy Shaggy, he's experimenting that whole little situation. You know what I mean? So he was a part of Pound for Pound back then when we were in Chatsworth. So Mo Preem, Tupac brother, came to my mom's birthday party. So we in Chatsworth, California, mansion, tennis court in the back. We doing it big, but we celebrating me. I'm from Soul Train. I'm about to drop the album. We recording, but there's a lot of hostility going on with my mom being in the house and my management team. See, my management team was just that. They was just my management team at the time. Y'all supposed to be pound for pound, but this my mom. And so it was hard for us trying to decipher the two, like who gonna have the upper hand on Marcus Raymond career. Either we gonna do it or your mom, you know what I mean? So it caused a kind of rift in between me and my management company. I wasn't finna let my mom be out in the streets. So I was like, well, I'll go. And that's how that happened. So when I left that situation, my mom ended up going back to Houston where she from or where she was at. She was still flying for the airlines. And it was left up for me to go out there and find my way. So that's how that happened. Long story short, that's how that ended up, me just funneling around LA. And just to kind of give you an idea, from a young cat to, being on Death Row Records or being affiliated with Death Row Records, I seen so much shit, like just being behind closed doors, like just sitting back watching, just being the fly on the wall. Like, damn, like this is what. But I had to absorb all that to understand where I'm at today. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through it in order to get to it. I say that all the time. So Death Row was just a stomping. That was just a. That was a small thing for me, bro. Just in the industry, that just was a lesson learned. That just taught me what not to do and what to do.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you is that being around and being around the Can-Am session specifically and learning what to do and not to do, and what was the biggest lesson learned that
Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say shit. You don't know shit. You don't know nothing. See, at Can-Am Studios in Tarzana, man, it was one way in and no way out. You got to remember Suge Knight. You got to remember Suge Knight was a blood. It's all documented. It's well known. And so pulling up to the studio itself, bro, like you're not going to get in there unless you know somebody that knows somebody. So when you say the intake of what it felt like, bro, it was just kind of like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's supposed to be like in this industry. Now I'm gonna get to some other shit later, I'm pretty sure, with us, but it was kind of like, man, I was too young to understand it, too dumb to understand it, but thought I knew everything.
Oh yeah.
And didn't know shit.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. I was an absorber to it because I was like, okay, I ain't letting nothing. I'll be homeless and do this. Which Suge Knight, he wasn't supposed to hold our hand and be like, okay, well, Marcus Raymond, you supposed to know this. Suge Knight wasn't there for that. He was the financier. He was the one to finance, and he get a bad rap, man, because he took care of a lot of them cats' families. Suge Knight was paying a lot of their rent, buying niggas cars, jewelry. He was doing a lot for motherfuckers, man. So, Suge Knight don't get the type of respect that he should get, even though, everybody want to say he set up Pac and all this other kind of shit, man. Y'all need to let that go, man. Pac gone. Pac gone. Whether he
gone, bro.
Man, listen. Okay, well, a lot of people say that there's lookalikes. A lot of people say that, and people on, there's been a lot of stories about that shit, man. But I'm not gonna get into it. I mean, I just everybody has their opinion on it. So but I know some people that was there that actually know. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you don't, Weezy. I'm not saying that. I'm just letting you know. We all want him to be alive. I swear to God, because I do. But if you've seen him, let us know where you've seen him at.
Oh no, I ain't seen. I was there, bro. I lived on Flamingo and Maryland Parkway, right where he got popped.
I used
Even
to
the
live
MGM, bro.
I used to live off of Koval. I know where he. I know.
So I was there at the crime scene when it happened, so I'm already knowing.
He got airlifted.
Yeah, he got pulled off to the side, then airlifted out. They loaded him in a fake ambulance because of the media, and then they airlifted him out.
We're not gonna start that narrative today, Wheezy. We're gonna let this ride. But listen,
hey Marcus, I got a question.
Yeah.
You said you did the Up in Smoke tour. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
I actually went to that first fucking show out here, the one at the Honda Center.
I was listen, man. I was a young buck. I wish I had the T-shirt still with the original names on the back of the T-shirt. It had Eminem. I had it, man. But I just moving around. But that tour, man, like Dr. Dre, he's great at what he's phenomenal.
I was a badass. I was like one of the best shows I ever been to in my life.
I'm talking about a show from front to top, from top to bottom. He don't miss a beat, bro. And so salute to Dr. Dre, man, because even as a producer, he may not be in the videos, dancing all in the video. You know what I'm saying? He in the back, doing his shit. Even the new album that Snoop just came out with, Missionary. You know what I'm saying? Like they back still doing their thing, man. Dr. Dre been doing it that's just all he know. But I remember some shit that happened when he was on house arrest at his crib. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, and that nigga Suge Knight fired off on Warren G and Snoop didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say nothing about it. But when Dre was on house arrest, everybody knew about it. Everybody that was at that house, Miss Chalet and everybody that was at that house, because Dre couldn't go nowhere. So anybody who was on death row that could get up to that house where Dre's house was at on them hills, yeah, it was some shit going on behind closed doors. I'm gonna leave it for the book though, but a lot of motherfuckers should have stood up, but they were so motherfuckers wasn't afraid of like Suge Knight, bro. They were fucking terrified. I'm talking. This nigga had my manager, Big Dre. He played football for Miami Dolphins. 6'5", 250, probably 260. Blew his knee out. He looked just like Suge. So they took him. They sent him to the minor, whatever that shit is, CFL. And he didn't want to do this shit. So I met him. This is how I met Omar Gooding. What's up to my nigga O? So my manager, he in the league, so he know all these motherfuckers, and so I'm like, whatever. I'm in North Hollywood, so my homie or Big Dre, I ended up meeting him through a mutual homie and shit. And he was like, well, he trying to manage or whatever, he gonna manage people. He was like, sing something, and so I sang something for him, and the nigga was like, oh, that's my first artist. So that's how I met my manager Dre at the time, and he from 60s. So everybody from 60s Crip know about this nigga Big Dre Alexander Watkins, because this nigga look like Suge Knight twin, right? So we in North Hollywood, we tearing North Hollywood down. I'm in actually Panorama City, and I'm working at the Panorama City Mall out there and shit at the Nike, at the Foot Locker. Everybody in the hood got Foot Lockers on. Everybody out there got Nike Air Shocks because of me. You know what I mean? I'm just hooking everybody up. But my manager at the time, he knew everybody, and we go hang out one time, man, at this fish place and shit, and it was just a parking lot full of people. And I'm looking over and I'm like, what is them people doing over there? Like, it's a bunch of people surrounding this nigga. And so it happened to be Omar Gooden. But my manager was taking me because he knew the nigga, and he was like, I'm finna go meet my homie. He didn't tell me who he was or nothing. And so when we got there, it's Omar Gooden. So I'm like, damn. Omar, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not starstruck and shit, but I'm like, nigga, this is some major motherfucking shit. Did you know him? Like, nigga, I'm looking at my manager like, you ain't bullshitting. So ended up meeting Omar, man, and I've known Omar now for about 25 plus. So ended up kicking it with Omar. I got some stories about him too. We was just young, dumb, doing what we do. These people, you got to understand, these celebrities, these so-called motherfuckers that y'all think is y'all watching on TV, man, they human beings just like us. That's what I found out at a young age. Because I wasn't no yes motherfucker. I wasn't the person to be like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out with this nigga because he Omar, or this nigga because it's Eric Benet, or this nigga right here. But so I'm not gonna do that. But I treated them like as if they was my brothers. Like, you know, if you need me, I got you. And that's why that's why I still got those relationships with them now, man, because I've always been that way with anybody in my circle. Just treated you as a brother, not as your celebrity status. Because Omar, I tell you right now, he was at some point, at some times in his life, he would call me or we'll talk, and he'd be like, "Man, I ain't happy." And I'd be like, "Nigga, yeah, right. You better give me one of them checks you making off, nigga. What you mean?" But in the back of their mind, bro, at that time, I'm not saying now, but at that time, maybe he was missing something. Maybe he didn't have it all together. Maybe he was going to the Diddy part. You know, I don't know. But I was seeing some shit, and what we talking about now is going to lead up to the monumental question I think y'all want to ask me.
Oh yeah.
But it took me to meet him to understand other things that was going on in Hollywood. Now I had already been on Soul Train. I had already fucked with, you know, Dwayne. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? So look, I ended up going to Venice Beach when we got back, right? Me, my homeboy Picasso, and his brother Terrence. Me, Picasso, and Terrence, we ended up going to Venice Beach one day. And I don't know why we ended up going on this Sunday. We just said, fuck it, we going. That's just what we always used to do anyway. So we was like, we ain't got nothing else to do. Let's just go to the beach. We go there. It's a bunch of people over just the same thing. Now I had just got off a Soul Train. So Soul Train was dying down. And before it died down, Eric Benet was probably the last artist. He had that song out, Femininity, at the time. And this is when he was just growing his little twisties out, his little dreads and shit. So he was on Soul Train at this occasion. So me and Picasso, we on Soul Train. So we like, let's go meet him in the back. I was everywhere. Every celebrity basketball game, New Edition, 6ix9ine, Brandy, Ray J, all of them. They know I know them. I put myself in every celebrity basketball game, even if I couldn't get into it. I put myself there. So long story short, man, meeting these certain people, man, like it's a difference when you get to talking to people and they getting to tell you about their lives and what they're going through. So you got to understand, man, like in this business, I've always been attracted to the lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I'm giving you a lot right now though, but I've always been attracted to the lifestyle. And it wasn't until I got with these cats that I was able to understand the lifestyle that they live, not like I lived because I was already going home. But we go to Venice Beach this day, and it's a bunch of people crowding this one dude around and shit. And it's Eric Benet, right? So the nigga didn't told us, and I think this is why we went, if I remember it correct. So, I remember everything. I may not remember everything, but I remember everything. So, especially when it's involving shit like this, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't sugarcoat this shit. So we go back in front of, or we go in the back on the side of Soul Train. Now, Soul Train ain't too big. So if you know anybody that know about Soul Train, they got fold chairs in the back there, and then they got the stage, and so it looked big because of the way the cameras is moving around. But it's really fold up chairs back here, so it ain't a big stage. So me and my homie Picasso, we go around the side and meet Eric Benet. This nigga that just performed, he ain't got on no shoes. He on the stage. Eric Benet is into this like nature type, you know. He back then, I don't know, he probably still is, but he really into nature, like, you know. So anyway, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be at Venice Beach later on. Y'all should come kick it or whatever. Okay. So we go to Venice Beach. Sure enough, he at Venice Beach. And we went to go meet with him. I said, what up? It's Marcus Raymond, blah, blah. Picasso yelling and shit, but there's a bunch of bitches around him. So I'm trying to handle it like Jamie Foxx and shit. You know how Jamie Foxx said he was walking up into the parties with the cameras and shit and was like, I'm getting this. You know, that's how I was doing with Eric Benet and shit with the females. I was like, hey, man, you want me to move them out the way? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, we good. Just walk with me. Now, on Venice Beach, it's a strip. There's water over here and there's a bunch of shops and shit on the other side. So you can just walk down that motherfucker. So we just walking with Eric Benet. Now I'm gonna lead you up to what we gonna say with the, you know, y'all want to ask me, but this is some crazy shit, bro. So we walking, we get to the weight pile at Venice Beach. That's where all the celebrities, whoever lifting weights over there, all the wrestlers, Hulk Hogan, whoever it is, they over there lifting weights, but it's real bummy and shit. Like it's like, it's bums over here. It's some LA shit for real. You on the beach. If you ever been there, trust and believe, it's some crazy shit happening on Venice Beach that'll trip you out. If you've ever been even just downtown Hollywood, Sunset, Melrose, you already know what I'm talking about. But it's times 10 on Venice Beach. You feel me? So Eric Benet still got his shoes off. So I'm like, nigga, this nigga walking around with no shoes. I said, hey man, you finna go in the bathroom? I said, you might not want to. It ain't too sanitary without, And I'm just saying though. So anyways, while we walking, he looking for some Somali rolls. It's an oil that we used to wear back in the day, like Egyptian musk, and we used to put it all on our body and all that. So he looking for some Somali rolls, and then so he come out the bathroom, but before he do, one of the weight dudes, big buff ass nigga, come up and he was like, hey, is that Eric Benet? Hold on, y'all, I gotta put my charger in before. He was like, hey, is that Eric Benet? Damn. Hold on, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Yep, we can see you.
He said, is that Eric Benet? And we was like, yeah. And now we thinking the niggas is trying to funk with us because, we with the R&B nigga. So that's when he just came out with Femininity, the song. And so we like, yeah, that's him. And they was like, hey, man, is he gay? They just asking us like straight up. Is he gay? Now the nigga, I'm like, the nigga's in the bathroom. I'm like, damn, I'm looking around trying to play it off. Like, is this, you talking to us? And I was like, man, you see all these women that's around? Like, I'm trying to play it off like hell. But the nigga's walking around with no shoes on, and he got a jacket wrapped around his waist, come on. So I'm like, the only thing I could tell him is like, hell no, nigga, y'all see all these females we got, man? Hell no, y'all tripping. So he come out, and he was looking at him kind of like, I'm the one y'all talking about. And I was like, yeah, say that shit now. And so they looking at him like, hey, man, yeah, Eric, man, we like that song, man. Yeah. I said, no. I said, tell him what y'all was asking me before. Gotta switch it up now, nigga, because this nigga's here.
Right.
So anyways, man, I was like, I told y'all, nah, he cool. So the females are still following us, though. I'm like, damn. So we get to the end of the Venice Beach, man, with this nigga. And he like, hey, man, y'all want to go to a party? And I'm like, shit, hell yeah. Now, back then we had the 2-ways. And you could beam motherfuckers your information. If you had a 2-way and shit, it was cold.
Yeah.
It'd make some noise. You could beam each other and shit. Boom. Everybody had it. So we was beaming each other. So he was like, here, take this number down. Boom. So I done came all the way from Soul Train, from Monrovia. I done did all Death Row. I done had some interaction with B Brazil. I done did all kind of shit. Now I'm on Venice Beach throughout my years coming from France and all of that shit. Now I'm on Venice Beach with Eric Benet. So Eric Benet, he was like, take this number down. So I was like, cool, boom, beam me, bomb. So when he beamed me, it was to his manager or somebody and shit. And so I was like, all right, cool. He's like, call that number later tonight. They could give you the directions on where the party at. So I'm like, cool. So me and Picasso, Picasso, my homie, he looking at me a certain type of way. I'm like, nigga, what you looking at? Like, nigga, just because he gave me the number, nigga, you the homie. So it's you know what I'm saying? It's like we both good. He looking at me like he like, nigga, I'm like, what you looking at? So anyway, I was like, nigga, come on. He low-key hating. So we get in the car. I drive all the way back to North Hollywood because now I'm living in North Hollywood. And so I was like, I'm going to drop you off real quick as you trip. Hold on, I'm going to drop. So I drop him off. I go back, Benacona. I'm living on Sepulveda and Alameda in North Hollywood. Omar, I tell you this true because when my 25th birthday, him and his homies came over there and ate up all my barbecue. But look. So I drop him off, go home, get ready, call the number, or I called Picasso. I was like, I'm coming to get you. And we called a number. So they telling us where to go. It was some suite in Hollywood, downtown Hollywood, off of Sunset, Melrose, all in the Hollywood Hills somewhere. So I don't know if it was the W Hotel or where this shit was at, but it was a suite, big ass hotel in Hollywood. I can't remember what the fuck it was. I remember it's in the book. So look, we get there and it's a bunch of bitches all up in the lobby and shit. I'm like, man, I don't know who stay here because they ain't told us who stay there. They was just, this manager. Y'all, when y'all get there, call his number and shit. Y'all at the party. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Keith Amos is. He played in the movie Why Do Fools Fall in Love with Vivica Fox, Lorenz Tate. If y'all don't know it, go look it up. But his name is Keith Amos. That's my homeboy. Let me say if I should tell y'all this or not. So, out of respect for his family and the other person I'm gonna tell you about, I can't really go into detail about our interaction too much because out of respect for their family. But on our way there, we driving down Hollywood. We trying to get to this party. So I look out the passenger. I was the driver. So Picasso's the passenger. He rolled down the window. It's Merlin Santana from the Steve Harvey show right next to us at the light. He pulled up in a blue convertible BMW. Anybody know Merlin Santana know about this BMW because it was the coldest motherfucker I ever seen. Drop top, but he got his arm hanging on the windowsill. And he got a tattoo on his arm full of Magnum bullets, like AK bullets all around his arm with a tattoo on there. So we talking. I'm like, nigga, that's Merlin. I told him so Picasso rolled the window down. He like, what's up, nigga? What's up? And Merlin like, well, what's up? Where y'all going? I'm like, yeah, we going to the party. Beaming. Picasso beaming. I said, here, nigga, take the phone. Beaming. Boom. Now we got Merlin Santana info. He got some other nigga in the car with him. I don't know who it is. If you know anything about Merlin Santana, I don't need to say nothing else. That's why I said out of respect for his family, I don't want to say too much because it's going to tie into what y'all want to know about. As to when y'all read the book, you'll finally know what I'm saying now. You know what I'm talking about? So I can't really say too much just out of respect for Merlin Santana and his family, along with Keith Amos. So let's double back to Keith Amos. So Keith Amos was on the Cheerios commercial. He did, I think it was the Cheerios, the Oreos, or Ho-Hos. He was one of the little kids off the Cheerios commercials back in the day. And I used to see him and shit and be mad because I was like, I want to do the same shit he doing. Like, you know, I was always in the mix with these motherfuckers, Jaleel Whites and the Urkels and the, you know, but it wasn't until I got to Hollywood. I you know, you grown now. You on your own. You gotta fend for yourself. You gotta do what you gotta do. So we go to the lobby. I call the number back again. Manager dude comes down the elevator. Boom. What's up, Marcus Raymond? Boom. Such and such. This is my boy Picasso. He was like, yeah, Keith Amos upstairs. So we go upstairs. I said, Keith Amos. I was like, who is Keith Amos? I don't know who this nigga is. They just finished filming Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And so we go upstairs and shit. Naomi Campbell in the building. Every 90210 motherfucker, Brian Austin Green, everybody in this motherfucker. There's a bunch of white people that I ain't never seen in flip-flops and shorts.
The W.
So, exactly. So, got a pool on the top of the motherfucker, whatever. Yeah. So, anyway, we in the party. Platters all around. Platters, you know what I'm saying? Platters. Crazy. I'm looking like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? So I meet Keith. I got weed on me all day long. I got about an ounce on me. So he was like, Keith Amos or whatever. I'm Marcus Raymond. Roll up. That's what he tell me. Roll up. I said, bet. Pull up the weed. Boom. I start rolling up. So he took a liking to me at this point. Now he on TV. He just filmed a movie with Vivica Fox, Holly Berry, Lorenz Tate. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Come on, the Lymans. Y'all don't know. Come on, man. Shit. So look, he was like, hey man, I rolled up a joint. He said, well, come to the balcony with me. So in them suites and shit, you ain't got to really forcefully open up the sliding door. You can just tap that motherfucker and it'll just kind of just go. You know what I mean? You ain't got to forcefully open up the door. So we go out to the back. Guess who come out that motherfucker swinging the door? Picasso right behind us. Boom! Almost break the whole glass out the motherfucker. So I'm looking at this thinking like, well, what is your problem, bro? He looking at me like, what y'all doing? Like, I'm like, nigga, we smoking. What's here? Nigga, smoke this. He tripping. I was like, man, you better go talk to some bitch. Go out there and mingle, nigga. Me and Picasso, we out there for about 2-3 minutes, but I stayed out there with Keith. We talking. If y'all don't know your homework on Keith Amos, go look him up. So we went. Party was over. Naomi Campbell smelled like $1 million that night. I have never smelled this type of perfume ever in my life. I was, first of all, just tripping on the fact, like, you know, I'm in here with these A-list celebrities. I don't know who the fuck is who, but I know who is who. Like, I don't even know why I'm out here. You know what I mean? Like, I just got invited here type shit. So anyway, the party over with. I said, hey, Keith, man, I was like, you want me to, you know, help you out around here and shit? He's like, nah. We got maids for that. We got people for that handle that. I said, shit, nigga, all right, bet. Nigga, all right. He was like, but here, beam me, took my information. He said, call me tomorrow, man. We're going to go, hang out. I was like, all right, bet. Guess who over here dirty mouthing, reckless eyeballing me and shit. Like, nigga, I'm like, Picasso, this nigga I got to get this nigga away from me. Like, but this is my dude, though. He's like, Picasso, just so y'all know, is one of them type of cats, man, that everywhere you go, you're going to get into it with something. Somebody, he going to get into it with somebody. Y'all going to fight. Somebody, he going to say something stupid, crazy, but spark plug type nigga. And I attracted that and thought that was cool back then, because I'm in my 20s and shit. Like, I'm thinking, nigga, we round the baddest bitches. We got the baddest this. We smoking the baddest weed. We on the baddest tours. I'm thinking we the shit. Not even knowing what it's really about behind closed doors, but we about to find out. So next day, I get a text on that two-way. I'm back in North Hollywood, Sepulveda and Alameda. Living in them apartments right there on the corner. Ain't no gate to them or nothing. They just right there. The apartments on the top, garage on the bottom. So I go back to the crib. I get a text. It's from Keith. And he like, call me. And I'm like, hey. Now I'm slanging weed and shit. I'm like, I ain't calling up. My money ain't right. I got to re-up. I'm trying to do this. And so I called him and I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm not fucking with you today. I got to do something. I got to make some bread. I'm not finna be around you without no bread in my pocket. And he was like, man, you ain't got to worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just come hang out and chill. I'll come get you where you at. I was like, nah, man, I can't, man. Give me a minute. I'll call you back. He said, man, call me back. Call me back. I said, all right. As soon as I hung the phone up, I was like, let me make this money. I'll call you back. As soon as I hung the phone up, my mom called me from Houston. She was like, I need you out here tomorrow. I'm having surgery on my back. You need to get out here. I said, well, shit, you know how to do, the procedure. Just tell them the code at LAX. I'm there. So I can just get to LAX, tell them the code. She worked for the airlines. I already know what time it is. I got a buddy pass all day. So if you know anything about the airlines and anybody that worked there, that's how I got everywhere around the world, is my mother on her buddy pass or jump seat. So whenever she couldn't sit in her seat, I was sitting in her seat and we was everywhere. That's how that happened. So yeah, man, I got to Houston the next day and I had a bottle of champagne. Saw my mom. She was finna go have surgery. Still had my two-way on me. And she living in the north side of Houston, like where 200,000, you living in a mansion. Like you, big ass compact bubble outside or something. I don't know if it was north or south. It was on one of them Houston's there. I don't know, north, south, one of them. Badass house. Ducks and shit walking around, lakes in the backyard and shit. I was like, damn, this how you living out here in Houston? Yeah. You could buy some land in Houston. You could go out there and live for 200,000, 250. You living in a million. At least 500, 600,000. I didn't even know that. So I get up there and I said, shit. She was like, go pick your room out. My sister there, my older sister there. She was like, go pick your room out. I said, shit. I go right to the one with the biggest tub. Like, yeah, the jacuzzi tub. I said, yeah, let me get this one. Shit, went and cracked open a bottle of wine, champagne or some shit I had and went and sat in the tub. I don't know. Did I get a call? No. I said, well, let me call Keith and tell him that I'm out here since I just made this little trip. He was, probably thinking that this nigga ducked me. He was supposed to come hang out with me. Nigga just didn't call me or whatever. So I was like, let me call him and make sure that I'm good. So I called his number back when I get to Houston the next day. And it was a message on there from his I think his uncle or somebody that they was like, well, if you call him for Keith Amos, call this other number or some shit. I was like, well, this ain't the right number. He was like, well, if you know Keith Amos, call this other number. I said, well, shit, let me call the other number. Call the other number. And sure enough, his uncle answered the phone or somebody, cousin or something. He was like, hey, he's like, hello. And I said, is Keith there? And he was like, who is this? I said, it's Marcus Raymond. And he said, where you know Keith from? And I said, well, shit, I just was kicking it with him 2 days ago at his house. And so they was like, well, hold on real quick. And he put his mom on the phone. And I didn't know he was going to do that. I'm sitting in the tub. I'm thinking he's going to get on the phone like, my nigga, my bad. Nigga, I'll be there in a minute. My mom is sick. You know what I'm saying? So his mom get on the phone and she crying hysterical. And I'm like, is everything okay? What happened? And so she like, Keith died, had an asthma attack, tried to get to the next door neighbor and died on the spot. I'm like, man, I I can't even tell you how I felt, bro. It was something in me because I feel like if I would have stayed, I would have saved him, type shit. But I had to go save my mom. And that's the only story I'm gonna tell you all the way linked through. Other than that, the other stories I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you half the story because you got to go get tragedy to triumph to find out the other shit. But this was one of my homies that could have been my homies. And the only thing left we got to show for it is Why Do Fools Fall in Love and a couple of commercials that he was in and whatnot. But my condolences. That's why I said my condolences to his family, man, because and she was like, baby, if you need anything, call me, his mom and shit. And I was like, nah, if you need anything, call me. Nah, hell no. What? Asthma attack. But yeah, man, that fucked me up for a long time. So I stayed out there with my mom in Houston until she had her back surgery. And after she was okay with that, man, I went out to Colorado and met this cat, Mr. Lee. I went to Colorado and ended up doing shows. We did a show for Jay Holiday up out there, man. Weezy was already in the game, you know what I mean? So I just happened to be in the area that he was doing his business. And, we just got together on some humbug shit. It was just like two people in the same environment doing what we do. But I'll let you, Weezy, if you want to chime in on something or whatever, man, just tell him what he was doing. So that's how I met you.
Yeah, no, it was just literally on the whim. I met Marcus at a show and he was just like, yeah. And it wasn't even on it was on some humble shit. He was like, look, I respect what you do. Let's get some money together. Bet.
Always from there, Weezy was always getting his money, man. That one thing about Colorado is he always it's very small in Colorado. So in the area that I was at in Aurora. So let me just take it over real quick, Weezy, so we can get this out of the way because I know this is a 2-hour segment here. We already on an hour because I want to get to the question.
We got plenty of time. We got
answer it reflectively.
Plenty of time, sir.
Okay. So I ended up going to Colorado. Colorado don't deal too well with LA niggas.
Nah.
Not at all. We don't, and we do with y'all out there, but we move fast. And so, coming from LA and shit, I did shit real fast out in Colorado. I was moving this, moving that, just trying to find my way. And so, kind of reversed a little bit before I got to Colorado. After that stint with my mom, I ended up becoming homeless in Long Beach. So, oh no, I think this is after Weezy. So let me just go ahead with the story because it was kind of after that. Anyways,
yeah.
When I get to Colorado, I got caught up with the wrong niggas. Let's just say that. And I did my first bid in DLC out there for intimidating a witness. And so both of my charges is violent. I got a kidnapping charge and I got an intimidating a witness charge on my jacket. And hearing that, you would be like, damn, like this nigga, how's you an R&B singer, nigga? Hip hop, maybe, nigga, but how's you an R&B singer? How kidnapping, nigga? Well, in the state of Colorado, if you move someone from here to here,
yep,
that's kidnapping. If you take somebody's phone, that's kidnapping. So I'm not gonna get too much in the case, even though the case is closed or whatever the case. Some niggas tried to rob me, man. Low. I mean, I did a lot of shit out there. And they knew who I was. I got a big family out in Colorado on my dad's side, cousins, uncles, and all that shit. And this is where if we double back to the beginning of the story where the Bloods and Crips come at, because a lot of my cousins out there is Bloods and Crips. And so it's just crazy when we get together. But that's where I did my first bid at, man. I did 5 years out there the first time for the intimidating a witness case. This nigga said that I had an AK-47 and I was chasing him across the street from the court building to the, if you know anything about Aurora, he said, Weezy, you do. He said from the court building to the Aurora Mall, I chased him and his girl, or my ex, I chased him and his girl across the street in a 3-piece suit with an AK and then nobody run me over. Nobody called the police. Ain't nothing. Didn't nobody do shit. But this how fucked up Colorado is with laws, bro. So these motherfuckers was able to go get a restraining order against me. And so since they was so scared, they was able to charge me with intimidating a witness. I took it to trial. Matter of fact, I said I didn't even want the public pretender, motherfucker. I'm a defend myself. And so I was like, this case is so fucking easy to defend. All I want y'all to do is get the tapes off the fucking lights and tell me that I was running across the street, a black nigga with a 3-piece suit on and some Stacey Adams with an AK-47, chased you all the way to the Aurora Mall, and this stupid bitch go to the movies after that.
You was on some Scarface shit.
So if you so scared of me, you so scared of me, you go to the movies after that? Would you go to Century 16 right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but so I went to the box, man, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna fight this because I want her to get up there and say that she really saw me running across. So they gave me the little funky plea deal. And so, you know, I took the little 5 years and got up out of there in 2.5. You know what I mean? I did my time and I sat it down for that. So the next situation, even after I got off parole in Colorado, that was just some humbug. That was just some bullshit. That was some bullshit. But you know what? Let me say this about prison out there, man. And let me just tell you this about LA County out here or where in LA and shit. You know, jail, I don't have nothing bad to say about jail, man. It preserved me. Honestly. So the next time I went for the kidnapping, second degree, not kidnapping, second degree. Because like I say, if you move someone from here to there, you know, but in the book, it's going to tell you a different story because I don't want everybody to get to knowing why this next story is so big because it was big. Okay. But the second time I was facing 10 to 32 to life in Arapahoe County. And I think I was going back and forth to jail so much in Colorado. I was just like, fuck Colorado. I'm done with this shit. Because they sent me to CSP straight up. They was like, first of all, in Arapahoe County, the county jail, I spent damn near 13 months in there fighting it. So I was like, I'm going to fight this shit. But 3 months here, 3 months here, that's 6 months. 3 months here, that's 9 months. 3 months here. Now you've been in there almost 13, 12 months before you even get to the speedy trial. So I was like, fuck it, give me the plea deal. They said, well, I said, so, okay. Even though they had all this evidence, even though they had the niggas that was from Montbello, these niggas is from Montbello. I ain't never even heard of Montbello being in Colorado, but they from Montbello. They in the courtroom. One nigga shot up on the legs and shit in a wheelchair trying to get his doctor bills paid for. I'm in the box looking at him like, nigga, I see you, nigga. Like, nigga, they telling me, don't be talking. So I'm in jail and these niggas is out here able to live their life and they robbed me. But they there sitting in the courtroom laughing, trying to get their doctor bills paid for. I wasn't going for it. So they was trying to get me, the DA or the prosecution, they was trying to give me 10 to 32 to life. I said, y'all can, you already know what you can do with it. I said, but what's the plea deal? Because I already been in here 13 months. I was tired. I was like, nigga, I'm trying to go get my commissary, nigga. They said, well, 10 years is the plea deal. I said, nigga, where I sign at? I'll be out in 5. Signed that shit quick and went upstate. So as soon as I got done with that shit and I signed that deal for the crime I committed, I'm not saying that I wasn't guilty. I was guilty. I just tried to string it along as I could. I wasn't finna let these motherfuckers hang me. Find out and tell me if I did it or not. And if not, I'm out of here. That's just how I felt. As soon as I got out of Arapahoe County, they sent me to CSP. Colorado State Penitentiary, maximum security, y'all. I'm up there with Chuck E. Cheese. If y'all know who Chuck E. Cheese is in Colorado.
The shooter. Yeah, he shot up the Chuck E. Cheese.
Nathan Dunlap.
Yeah.
I'm up there with him. He got dreads and shit. So I'm in there with him. My family know him. Like, we kind of know this little bum. Anyways, I'm not going to say that, because whatever. But he go up into Chuck E. Cheese and shooting up everybody back in the day because he had a bad day. Shot up everybody in Chuck E. Cheese or whatever and shit. So he was on death row up in there. So I'm in housing F8 and CSP. So I'm in there with these murderers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in there on some kidnapping. I look real Like this, I'm kind of fit for where I'm at. I'm like, damn, the crime fit itself. But I know I shouldn't be there. I'm like, man, I know this ain't where the hell I'm supposed to be at up in here, man. Fresh out of Arapahoe County. So they sat me down up in CSP, fresh out of fresh. Even they was like, okay, you want to come back and play around in Colorado? We told you to take your ass back to LA. You ain't learned your lesson. We're gonna send his ass to CSP. So I went to CSP first. Where else did I go after that? Florence or Delta? Florence, Buena Vista.
Beauty. It's where they send everybody. It's
Buena
where
Vista
everybody
was on the
all
high
the
side.
terrorists.
Yeah, I was on the high side of Buena. Then I went to the low side. So on that 10, I did 5. So I set myself back. This is the second time in Colorado I didn't went to prison. I didn't left already. I didn't left the first time. When I left, I went to Vegas. Just to kind of give you the middle story of that. So when I left the first time, when I met Weezy, I had already met him. So did my shit. I said, but fuck Colorado, I'm out of here. So I go to Vegas, stayed out there for about 4 years, had my son and shit. And then shit started getting bad. That's when I was living in Watts. Right? So I'm living in Watts off 103rd in Wilmington by the Grape Street Crips. I'm still in contact with Weezy. I called Weezy one time. I said, nigga, let's do some music. I'm out here with Corrupt, Daz. We about to do a show and shit. Not at the Staples Center at the time. It was the Staples Center, but at the convention center. Yep. And so I was like, come down here, man. We finna be a big part of this shit, this movement out here. So once you come out here and, I knew he was always a hustler and shit, man. Like I just knew that would work. Not only in my favor, but in his favor. But I'm living in the project. I'm in the straight hood. Mad ways, I'm in the hood. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck.
Yep.
And so, but really though, Weezy didn't know what the fuck was about to happen.
Nah.
So he get a flight. He come out there. Weezy got a bag, like a big ass like carry bag, but it's huge. You can't get it on the plane. It's one of the ones they tell you to put under the plane. He got one of them, but he got MPCs. He got keys. He got microphones. That's $1,200. He got every XLR cable. He got everything that you need in that one motherfucking bag, and don't nobody know it but him. And he walking from the light rail. He walking from the train, the blue line, red line. He walking from the train to 130 Wilmington to meet me.
Oh, he thought I was nuts. He was like, nigga, you really just walked through Watts with this shit? I was like, bro, I have no idea where the fuck I'm at, bro.
Ain't nothing Watts, when you get into Watts by the towers, we right around the corner from the towers. If you know anything about Watts Towers, just go look it up, Google it. I'm right around the corner from there. So there's pit bull, stray dogs walking around.
Nigga, you don't selling tube socks and chiclets.
You don't know if you get bit. They got niggas on skateboards with jury curls skateboarding.
Yeah.
Skateboarding. You don't know who is what. Weezy come to the house. I had a nigga that I knew in the house named Fast. He was from Oakland. Pimp ass nigga.
Oh, my Lord.
And he did everything fast. I'm talking like, but when you in that lifestyle, when you in that pimping shit, man, it takes over you because it's about control at that point.
Munch was there, Mac Munch was there.
Right. So he did some shit, man, in front of Weezy, man, and he checked his bitch, and he checked her too hard though. He checked her real hard, you know what I mean? And it wasn't some shit that I wish Weezy would have saw. He didn't kill her, you know what I mean, and nothing like that. But nigga, anytime you put your hands on a female, that's some coward shit. So I don't give a damn what you doing, hustling, pimping, whatever you doing, But when Weezy saw that, he was like, "Oh no," nah. He was like, "I can't do this." I said, "Hey, nigga, I understand it. On the first thing out of here smoking, I got you." He put his shit up in there. We didn't have no furniture in the house, nothing. Nothing. It was a 1-story house, front to back. Barely had food in the refrigerator. But Weezy like, nigga, why is this helicopter flying over your house every 5 minutes?
Fuck. I was like, how do y'all niggas sleep with this shit? It was like, you get used to it.
Every 5 or 10 minutes, that bird was humming. Sound like it'd land on your roof.
Yeah.
But I got him up out of there. So the next day, we take him. We get on the red line. I said, I'm going to go with you. He's like, I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to go out there. I got some people I want to meet out there. I need to meet them. You can come with me if you want. And I think the people we met, they was with AEG, and they was doing Yolanda Adams, the gospel singer Yolanda Adams. They was the producers for them, but it was 2 white boys.
Yeah.
And we got to the burger spot where they was at. Weezy still got this bag. This nigga right here. He still got this motherfucking bag. He carrying it around. He ain't letting go of this bag, though. And we get there to sit at the table, and we have a drink, and we was talking to them, and they had a little recorder, and they was like, listen to this. And so Weezy was like, well, this the track they want you on. This is the, you know. So I listened to it. I put it up to my ear. I said, man, I'm doing the wrong thing. That track, I think Chris Brown, anybody would have jumped on that track, bro. It wasn't even gospel. It was like some shit that you hear on the radio immediate. But in my frame of mind, I was like, well, this nigga leaving. I got to go back to this. Ain't no way I could. My mind wasn't even on that. He said, well, his exact verbatim, when you get to Colorado, holla at me. I ain't see Weezy for 20 years after that.
There's no way.
Well, I ended up getting back to Colorado after I lost contact with Weezy. I just got back in contact with him low key on, through Facebook. But that's why we're here today. You know what I mean? Because good friendships, they last long. Trust and believe, especially when you ain't fucking nobody over, like I'm about to tell y'all, about this industry type shit.
Yeah, me and Marcus, we had a long journey during his time in Colorado. I mean, we lit many stages alike. I mean, I was backstage as a promoter, but Marcus lit a bunch of stages, Jay Holiday to SIBO to
everybody.
To America's Best Dance Crew.
Baby Bash. What's up, Baby Bash? That's my nigga too. Baby Bash was out there. See, these relationships I would have never known about, like the Palladium, I think in Colorado. They tore that down. I don't know if they did or not, but I think they did.
Palladium's not here no more.
But that's how far back we go to the Palladium when it was open, where it was one side the strip club and the other side was the stage and all that shit. But the one thing about the industry, man, is it's just like the police. It's like any kind of gang or whatever. There's good cops, there's bad cops. There's good niggas in the industry and there's bad niggas in the industry. So I can't sit up here and tell y'all that or be hypocritical and say, oh, well, don't do the music, because I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you what to look out, what to look out for. I can tell you that. But to stop your creativity for me to say, oh, because we know this nigga did this or whatever, get these lames out the way. Get them out of here. So it'll open the door up for us real motherfuckers to come through the door and help these kids. But we're going to get to that later. So listen, back to me going back to Colorado, man, when they told me that 10 to 32 to life, I said, shit, let me get the deal. Got it, went and sat down. But that CSP shit changed me. 23-1. 23-1. You got a lot of time to think. Man. So I'm gonna get on this fatherhood shit real quick before I tell you what happened when I got out of there. I don't know in Colorado if y'all know.
Boogie's in Colorado too. So Boogie's from Cincinnati, but he's here in Aurora with me.
So okay, so do you know Weezy? You know China and Teardrop?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. So, anyways, I'm in CSP, and this is how foul women can be. For those men that want to be fathers, which is pretty much every man I know, they slid that note under my door and was like, "This lady says she got your baby." The kid is 5 years old, live in Kansas. I never even knew this. Met her in Colorado one time. I used to be a supervisor for Dish Network on Colorado Boulevard. Right behind them gold buildings. It was E Creek Solutions, and it was right on Colorado Boulevard. There's some big-ass gold buildings, and right behind that is E Creek Solutions / Dish Network, and I was a supervisor over there with everybody. That's how I pretty much met everybody. For show shot, everybody. What it is, everybody. They slid that note under my door. I was 99.999% the father, and the kid was 5 years old. The only thing that Colorado did for me was say, you know what? You had an obligation to find out who your baby father was. You pretty much concealed the whereabouts of your child. So you get what you get. He in here getting state pay right now. You get $50 a month. She trying to get retro child support for 5 years ago because she didn't allow me or inform me that I had a son or a kid somewhere out here in the world. Ain't seen him to this day, but I pay child support for him. We'll get to that in a minute. That's just what I went through at CSP. So while I'm in CSP, don't know why I'm in CSP, don't know who I'm. When with that 1 hour out, man, this niggas getting shanked up. Niggas getting cut the fuck up. I'm seeing niggas going on site. They going in the cell. Soon as them doors pop, boom. Soon as them doors pop, it's on site. Some shit that okay. So now they coming in with bear spray, damn near pepper spray, and you getting locked the fuck back down for weeks. Crazy shit, bro. So when they took me out of there, I was a wreck. I didn't know it was singing. Yeah. So when I got out of there, what was the other facility they took me to? It started with an F. This where all the LMNO, PQ, TGIF, all them go. Damn, I can't think of the name. Nah, it wasn't Florence. It was where Teardrop in China was at, man.
Oh, Fulton.
Nah, not Fulton.
Well, we got Florence, Fulton, and one other.
Start F. Damn. I didn't stay long there too long, man. I spent about 4 months there, and then they sent me to Buena Vista. So from Buena Vista, whatever that, well, I'll remember it in a minute, but whenever that was done with, because I didn't stay there for too long, about 3 months, because they kept moving me from house to house. Like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 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 boom. This is when I'm fresh out of max. So I went from max, medium, low to super low, like, you know, minimum yard, no fence around and shit. So from Buena Vista, then I went to Delta. I met my celly there. Shout out to Mike Spinelli. His sister is married to Carl Kanai, and his auntie is married to LL Cool J, I Simone. No bullshit. And I might be getting them mixed up. I think his sister is married to LL Cool. No, his sister is married to Carl Kanai, the clothing designer, and his auntie, or I think his cousin or something like that, is married to LL Cool J, who is I Simone. So when you say, Boogie, about the history, when I said LL Cool J and shit and NWA and all that, you know, Mama said knock you out and all that, you know, we was Kool Moe D, you know, we could go all the way back. Big Daddy Kane, you know, come on, man. So anyway, I met him at Delta, and so I got paroled from there, went back to Aurora, and it kicked off from there because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to make it out here under the circumstances that I'm in, being a 2-time felon and being able to try to survive out here, knowing that my calling was doing music. So I had to make a decision. And thinking I made the right decision sometimes ain't your right decision.
Facts.
So thinking I know it all and thinking I knew it all, man, and could do it all. I got out of that. I figured it out. And I said, you know what? This shit is not, it's not conducive to the type of lifestyle that I want to live. So I got to do something different. So even while I was in prison, man, I could hoop real good. Still to this day, dunk on you, all kind of shit. I got a jumper. They'll tell you. So the cats that I went to France with on my podcast called Enough Said. You know how everybody be like, pause. Well, my shit is called Enough Said because once you get to talking too much, sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up. Enough said. So that's what my podcast is about. So when my boys that I went to France with,
I love that shit though. I love it.
Enough said. When we get on the podcast, I got 5 guys that's gonna be on there that's gonna talk about France and the wicked jump shot Marcus Raymond got. You see the trophy back there and shit, dunking on the motherfucker. I'm real into basketball, Lakers all day. We'll talk about that later on. We was talking about football earlier. That shit changed me though. So when you're able to reach out and branch out to different cultures, man, like I have, and you come back to the States and still get shitted on, like it'll make you feel a certain type of way about where you at and what you need to do for your forward progress and your family. When I was in France, I didn't get looked at as a black man. I didn't get looked at as a minority. You see, only when I came back to LA and we stepped off that plane into LAX and thought that they was gonna give us the same praise, and they looked at us like, nigga, like who is y'all? I knew then. I was like, we ain't shit. And we had just come from Paris, France. We thinking that they're gonna balloons, stars. We think that the cameras, TMZ gonna be there. Everybody, shit. We went right back to the hood in Monrovia, playing at Pamela Park in Monrovia with the Do-Rock Crips, and that's how that happened. Back to the same environment, same circle, same shit that we couldn't get out of and didn't have a penny to throw out of the motherfucking window. But what you supposed to do? Everybody said, "Oh, you should have got out, or you knew you should have, boom, you should have left." And I tried that. So, anyways, when I was in prison, that's where tragedy to triumph comes from. So, excuse me. So in Buena Vista, how long we got left? 30 minutes, probably something.
You got plenty of time, fam. Keep going. You're good.
So in prison, you know, I had a lot of cats actually, man, that I was rocking with. You know, that's why I said I don't have nothing ill to say about prison, other than the fact, you know, you got 3 hots caught worrying about your ass. That's about it. And I'm gonna keep it way real with you. First time I got there, I heard broomsticks being popped. Motherfuckers was about to go down. It was ham. So, anyways, when I got to Buena Vista, they had a fire program or a heavy equipment program. And so at chow time every morning at about 5 o'clock, I get out. You know, it ain't even my chow time. It was supposed to be for them so they can get out and go do what they needed to do. But I'm at a minimum yard, a medium actually. So Buena Vista, in Colorado, they got a high side where all the jail cells and all that shit is at. And then you got the low side at Buena Vista where you can go work, do the fire program for the motherfuckers that got good behavior, right? They're going to tell me every time I went to parole, I went to see the board probably 2 or 3 times while I was in prison, and they denied me every time because it was my cases was violent. So every time I go see these bitches, they was like, "Oh, nah, you're going to sit here till your statutory discharge date." So I was like, fuck it. I got to do something with my time. I ain't going to sit up in here twiddling my thumbs, working in the kitchen, getting stuck up in the fucking kitchen with hell no. So every morning, man, I went and sat at that fucking breakfast chow hall and introduced myself like, "Hey, man, I'm Marcus. My middle name is Raymond. So that's why I go by Marcus Raymond. My last name is not Raymond. My middle name is Raymond. So I'm Marcus Raymond and something else." So I go introduce myself and be like, "Hey, I'm Marcus such and such. I'm trying to get on." They paying $300 a week or $300 a month when other niggas is making what 60 cents a day, and you get to lead a yard. So every Monday through Wednesday, I was able to go camping, Breckenridge, Aspen, and do demolition and learn heavy equipment. I had to turn down my parole for a year. So I could have got out in 4, but I did 5 because I sat back for a year because that was the commitment I made for doing heavy equipment. Could have got out, went to the halfway house, ACTC, all that shit up federal in Colorado. I could have went there. That's where I went the first time I went to prison was halfway house, ACTC. Went there. I could have went back there, but they told me to set myself back because the year program, you wasn't going to be able to see the board because you was going to be off the yard. I had to store. I was giving 3 for $5s. I give you 3 noodles a day, nigga, 3 honey buns. I want 5 back when I get back. If not, we're going to have problems. You're going to check up off this yard. Everybody that was there that know. But it was a bunch of us, artists. I got struck up. My tat, I don't know, this right here, all this right here, not this on my neck, but this right here, struck up. I go all like this, all this on my arm. You know what they told me in prison? They said, "Oh yeah, you manipulating the system because I ain't had no write-ups." So every time I go in front of the board, they looked at me like I was manipulating the system because I knew how to get around shit. But I used to sit up in the sales or in the yards in Colorado and be like, "This is baby food compared to LA County."
I agree.
I was in the medium in LA County at 5400 block, and Bone Thugs and Harmony, Lazy Bone, or one of the niggas was upstairs in the Max. My nigga, these niggas was killers out. Nigga, you know, you're talking about a dormitory full of motherfuckers that just had nothing to live, had life and nothing else to live for, but to kill you on sight. Because they had life. You in a dorm with Mexicans, blacks, whites. I remember a white dude came and asked us for a light for a cigarette, and they tore his ass up. As soon as he got back to his peoples, they lit his ass up right there, drug him all into the shower and shit. But there was a shot caller for every race, and that's just how it is. And tell me it ain't. So anybody that's been to LA County, they know you got a shot caller for every race. Big buff ass motherfucker. Say something. So you go into them showers. So it's been crazy, bro. So when back to the 10 to 15 shit, when I got done with that, I said, nigga, I'm changing my life around ASAP. So while I was in there, I was writing Tragedy to Triumph. Writing Tragedy, even from Arapahoe County. Before I even got to prison, I was writing Tragedy to Triumph. It was always just in my head because I was like, it got to be a starting point to the tragedy. There has to be a triumph to it. To my life. I'm just saying, not everybody else is mine. All the tragedy I done been through. So now the book, just to kind of summarize the book before I get to this other situation with Diddy. There's a 2-part series with the book. The tragedy part is going to come out April 5th. That's the part of me that you get to see now, or that you listening to now. See, on the internet, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be. But when it comes to this real life, you can't mimic it, gimmick it, or nothing. It's what you've lived. So when you get this part of me and you be able to say, okay, this nigga lived. I was the only nigga that they call LA in Denver. There was a couple other ones scattered around, but I'm the original. 90046 was my zip code. I'm the original from LA. So couldn't nobody else have that name on the yard but me, because that's where I'm from. That's all I know. So the 2-part series is the tragedy part is going to come out first, because you got to know where I've come from to know where I'm going. See, I've been him. I ain't worried about it, because I got a bunch of other motherfuckers that's going to tell you about it once you get to the triumph. This is the triumph part with Boogie, which y'all got going on right now. This is the triumph part that'll be in the other series of the book. But you got to know where I've come from, what I've been through, and where I'm going. And it's a strategy to it. So I'm going to take everybody through it, because a lot of it just deals with entertainment. It deals with real life. A lot of people want to know, well, like Weezy said, Pac is still alive. You know, everybody got different stories about they, seen this and seen that. And I'm not to say you wrong. I'm not, saying that Weezy, whatever, but I wish he was, because I wasn't there, but I know some motherfuckers that was there. And I know some of the stories are behind Snoop Dogg that I'm not going to even say nothing about right now. But just do y'all research on Snoop Dogg. That's all I'm going to say about it. Go look up Suge Knight interview. I don't think he was it wasn't Bomb First. I'll think of the sitcom or the podcast that he's on now.
Well, he does one with Dave. Well, he was doing one with Dave Mays, the old owner of the Source magazine,
where he was calling in and all that shit.
Yeah, call-ins with Suge. Yeah, check-ins.
Well, Suge got a lot of info too, man. Y'all got to listen to what he's saying. Like Dave Chappelle and them is not turning down $32 million and shit for nothing. These dudes is not turning down this money and going to Africa. They escaping the rat race, bro. What niggas that putting on dresses and shit, man? Come on, painting their fingernails and shit like that. Where have you known anybody black? Weezy, I'm gonna ask you this. Where have you known anybody black to do that shit?
Atlanta. Just stating fact though. They've been on that for years though. But
but this is not. That's not. We didn't grow up from that, man. Like
Hollywood, they ain't doing that in Hollywood.
Hollywood is crazy, and so I'm gonna get a lot of backlash from what I'm saying, because they want to say don't say this and don't say that. Well, listen, I'm not under. Listen, when I brought Omar Gooding, so when I brought him out to Denver last year for my birthday, do you know Disney was they had him at, they asked him about 21 questions about me. Where you going? Who you with? What you doing? Who is this? What's that? What you mean? Where is this? What row? What aisle? What food? What? That's their product. They own it. It's like you under contract, but man, they can't lead it. They can't live their lives, man, like we do. Why would they? Or why? You know what I'm saying? If they kids, if they getting what they get. Now I'm gonna move on real quick because we're gonna get into the shit that y'all want to hear. So anyway, after the Merlin Santana issue, when he driving in the car, we at the party and shit, boomty waddy. I then went to Houston, found out my homeboy done died. That hit me hard, man. So after that, I went back to Monrovia after Houston. Or no, I'm sorry, not to Monrovia, to Hollywood. I went back to North Hollywood. Ended up going to jail there. That's when I had a couple of warrants out, traffic ticket, minor shit. But you in LA County, you going, so in LA County, they got a place, another jail called Wayside. It's by Magic Mountain out there in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So they shipping me from LA County to now a place called Wayside, where all the Samoans is at. It's really like out of your league. Like you out there with cats that just ain't really no blacks, like because that's it's just way out. It's further than LA than you think. So I'm on the Grey Goose. I'm on the bus, which they used to call it the Grey Goose, taking me to Wayside. Clean as jail. Before I even leave, cats is faking seizures not to go up here to this job, bro, or go up here to this prison or this county jail. They faking seizures back in LA County. So I'm like, what the fuck? Where do they got me going? I think I'm going to the Thunderdome of all prisons, of all county jails. As soon as I get up out there, it's about the cleanest jail I've ever seen in my life. The way they even handled themselves out there, it was just welcome. I'm not glorifying prison. I'm not glorifying jail. I'm not glorifying, violence in any way, shape, or form, abuse. All I'm saying is that for me, this is what jail did for me. Even being in LA, this is me. I can't tell you what it'll do for you. You probably a knucklehead. You'll go up in there beating on your chest. Just don't take the Snickers bar on your bed when you see one. But I'm just saying, I knew how to conduct myself from the streets to being now in the system. See, I was marked. I've been him, like I said, but I've been marked, as from a childhood of, growing up in a household with an abusive father. So when they took me out to Wayside, man, and I came back after them little warrants and shit, and came back to my apartment on Alameda and Sepulveda, my little 1-bedroom apartment, couldn't barely afford that, working at Burlington Coat Factory. I remember it vividly. For my 25th birthday, Omar came over, ate up all my barbecue. Omar Gooden, him and his boys and shit, they came over there, and then he took me to his house. So this is back when Badass was alive. Rest in peace, Badass.
Rest in peace, Badass.
Took me to his house. I had about $300 on me. We playing dice in the garage. Omar licked me for my whole $300. On my birthday, I was pissed off. I said, nigga, I can't believe it. And I'm down to my last 20, I think. And I'm just back betting and doing all kind of shit. I'm thinking I'm just finna make this money. It's my birthday. I got down to my last 20. And when I hit that crap, I was like, oh, man, damn. He seen it in my face. Gave me all my money back and was like, nigga, don't ever come over here thinking you going to shoot some dice with me. Gave me all my money back. Happy birthday. See, that type of shit, man, like it was just, I'm with these cats. They like brothers to me. It's like they not actors. It's my brother. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like we was turning down people at his house. Omar used to have this big ass dog. Nigga, the dog used to look like a horse. Big white dog. Stand up about to my stomach. I'm 6'2". That dog stand up to about my stomach. So we took all of CSUN College. Me and Picasso, we took all of CSUN College to Omar Gooding's house for a party. Real shit. We turned them motherfuckers down at the front door. Like, it was so many people in this house. We was like, hey, no, some of y'all Latino, Mexican, they was all with the weed. Like, we trying to just get in here. Look what we got. But shit like that, it was just like, it was like surreal to me. To where everybody else was looking at him on camera. Even going to school with Jaleel White. Urkel? This nigga pull up in a limo. Everybody tripping. They girls and shit is tripping and shit. I'm on the basketball court shooting hoops. He's sitting there watching me. He befriend me because he like basketball. Just shit that the environments I have been in. I'm talking about Hollywood. Before, when I got back from prison, or when I got back from France, and I started living in North Hollywood, I was playing basketball with Michael Bivens from New Edition, Brian McKnight. I was on the court with him. 6'9", who was married to Vivica Fox, big old, used to wear the red, got the red hair, big old booty ass nigga. This nigga running around. I don't know what he doing. You know, red hair and shit. They called the nigga's name is 6'9", I think. He used to date Vivica Fox. You know, he running them circles.
So Vivica like niggas whose names is numbers.
Hey, man, listen. So look, I can't make this shit up if I could. So I'm just with these motherfuckers. Like, I'm just everywhere I go. It's like, you know, shout out to Michael Bivens from New Edition, man. Anyway, let me jump to this situation. So let's jump back to Keith Amos real quick, the party. So after I leave the party, or when I get back from Houston back to Hollywood, I'm probably like in my late 20s at this point, 30s. This is when I become homeless and I moved to Long Beach. And I lived in the Long Beach Rescue for Men, or Long Beach Rescue Mission for Men, for about a year. And a white chick who was a firefighter, she was bad. I tried to holler at her and shit, but I was homeless. So I was like, man, I ain't no way I'm gonna be able to holler or pull this one. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know I got a gift to gab, but I ain't got this much. And you know, so she took me in and shit. And she ended up dropping me off at this rescue mission for men. It's called the Long Beach Rescue Mission for Men. She pulled over one day and was like, stay here real quick. I'll be right back. She started crying. She ran in there. I seen her crying. I was like, what the fuck? I thought somebody had, you know, something had happened. You the firefighter. I'm thinking she going in there to handle something. She come back out and was like, I got you a bed. I said, what you mean you got me a bed? She said, well, this is, you know, what it is, Long Beach. Woo, woo, woo. They said, but as long as you go to church, you devote your time for church, you wake up in the morning, go to work, you can stay here. You got a bed, shower, shit, shave, but you got to leave in the mornings. So I'm walking around the Long Beach Rescue Mission with a Louis Vuitton bag on. I'm Marcus Raymond. I'm walking with a Louis Vuitton bag on, satchel. I'm talking about a duffel around the homeless shelter. Brick iPhone, taking advantage of life. But I'm homeless. But even if I didn't have 100,000 in my pocket, I made sure they thought I did. So I would go all the way to Atlantic and Artesia. There was a Starbucks right there. And I sit in that motherfucker all day long on my laptop like we talking right now and fill out applications for jobs. Barely had a suit to go to the interview. Yep. Stayed in that motherfucker for about a year almost, 9 months. 9 months, man. And my mom got sick again. And I was about to be checked into the LBCC college. I was about to go to Long Beach City College. I was waiting on my money to come because I was really going to use that ASVAB, or not the ASVAB. I really was going to use that FICA money, or whatever it is, the FAFSA. I was going to use that money to get a roommate and get up out of that homeless shelter. So here come my mom calling me again. I need you again. My lupus is flaring up. Yeah, I'm about to go through surgery. I said, well, you couldn't call me at a better time. I'm out here homeless. She had a fat ass house, Houston, big ass house by herself. That next day I was gone. Sat out there in Houston for about a month. And then I was posting on Facebook and shit like that, man, of how bad I was doing out there because I was like, you know, my mom and shit, she's tripping. She's getting all in my face. This medications is taking a toll on her. And I'm just venting online. Like, I'm like, you know, this is what I'm going through type shit. Whoever want to, you know, comment on it, comment. So as I'm the supervisor at Dish Network in Colorado, one of the employees I used to date, one of the little chicks or whatever, used to just mess around with and date or whatever, she hit me back and was like, well, if you want to come to Colorado, you can come stay out here. Don't have to pay no rent. She's like, I know you online, you know, you're going through it with your moms, but you can come back out here to Colorado. This is where your family at. You know, she got 2 kids. She baked me in to come out there to take care of her and her kids. You can come out here back to Colorado. You know, you got your family out here. Come out here. You ain't got to pay no rent. Come out here. You ain't got to pay no rent. I was like, shit, that's all I kept hearing. You ain't got to pay no rent. I was like, I'm about to go out to Colorado and bubble. So I took off. My mom, I had a herringbone necklace. I remember to this day, may she rest in peace. I had a thick ass herringbone necklace on. And so me and her never really seen eye to eye because she, you know, I look like my dad. I got mannerisms like my dad. He used to abuse her and shit. So she think I'm my dad all day long. And so me and her couldn't see eye to eye 2 minutes without her screaming and yelling, doing all kind of, you know, crazy shit. So she snatched my herringbone off one day. Oh, man, it took everything I had. You know, you ain't gonna hit your moms and shit like that or whatever. But I was like, you know what? This is the first and the last time you ever put your hands on me again. I'm out of here. And so that next day, she was supposed to take me to the airport. Or a couple of days after that, I think I was supposed to leave. She was doing okay. You know what I mean? I was like, this, you know, I did what I'm supposed to do. I'm out of here. And so that next day, I was like, you know, you ain't gonna snatch no more jewelry off of me. I don't know what kind of animosity you got towards me or what's wrong with you, but I love you, but I gotta go. I called up the bus. I was out of there 4 o'clock. I went to the airport probably 8 hours before my plane was supposed to leave, just so I can get out of the house. Sat at the entrance right there, right before you even get to the gate. I just sat there and went to sleep. Oh, but got up out of there and went to Colorado, and then that's when I went to jail. 6 months, probably 4 or 5 months after I got there, I went to prison for that kidnapping shit. And then after that, man, I said, you know what? I can't do this no more. Got out on parole, man, and finished it. And here I am.
So in other words, you know, like I tell people, you come to Colorado on vacation, you leave on probation.
Or you don't leave.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna leave. You're gonna finish that parole. You're gonna finish that parole, and they're gonna make sure that they keep their foot on your neck. I listen, I didn't recidivism rate and shit. I didn't go back. Listen, I stayed so far off the radar, bro. I stayed so far off the radar because I was tired of that shit. So Michael Craven in Arapahoe County, I don't know if y'all know about this nigga named Pooh, who beat the shit out of this white boy and shit up in there or whatever and claimed self-defense and got off on it. I don't know if he got off on it or not, but that was my cellie. Pooh was my cellie. But Michael Craven was the jailhouse lawyer dude that everybody fucked with to get their paperwork rolled up. Rest in peace, Michael Craven. So when he was getting beat, me and another cat that was in there, we could have helped him. We could have, but jailhouse politics, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to get involved with nothing that ain't your business. And I didn't. But he got beat. I could have ran up the stairs. I could have hit, you know, Pooh and knocked him off of him or whatever, but then I would have been incriminated into some shit that they had going on that I knew nothing about. But I had to sit there and watch it. So even before I got to prison, I seen this shit going on in Arapahoe County. They shut Arapahoe County down for months after that, bro. Months. Ain't no way nobody was coming into the DOC pod. Wasn't nobody coming in and out of our pod at all. They shut it all down, put us all on medication. We all had to talk to therapists, psych doctors, and all kind of shit. It really fucked us up. This is even before I got to prison. But when I got out of Arapahoe County, they sent me to CSP, where I was, you know, that I was in the belly of the beast. So I don't know if you want to take Boogie, if you want to take it from here, man, because I know what.
I mean,
I hope I gave y'all a little bit of information about my history.
I got something.
Say something.
So, I mean, listening to your story, Marcus, I've known you for decades. a couple of them, but listening to your story of tragedy at that point break of triumph, you always reach tragedy. And a lot of people don't get to see that side of life outside of it's just the glitz, the glamour, the lights, the flash. You know, with the hearing all the tragedy, you're now in that space to where your triumph is present. What is the triumphant part of life that music has brought you, that comedy has brought you, friendship has brought you, being a model in the past, being an actor in the past? What has all of that triumph brought you to this day? What is that accomplishment?
I think that's a good question, Weez. I think this is not the time right now to, mishandle the things that we pray for. You know what I mean? And so what does that tragedy or what does it look like for me right now?
No, the triumph.
That's
What
what
does the
the
triumph look
look
for
like.
you?
Yeah. That's yet to be seen, honestly, because I haven't finished writing the book. I haven't finished writing my life story yet because it ain't over with yet. You go through the bad days, you go through the good days. We all men and we all go through what we need to go through to support our families and to be successful in this business. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. Well, I'm gonna wait till Boogie
Well,
answers.
hold on. Yeah, well, this is what I want to put I guess.
But Boogie, hold on real quick before you. Not to sorry to cut you off, but Wheezy, what I want to say is the triumph. I think just getting out of prison and being able to do this. This is a part of that triumph. Being able to celebrate Thanksgivings and pay child support for a child you don't even get to see. But at least you know he's getting it or should be. Musically, I've toured, I've done all that. I've been on stages in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I've been on stages in front of 5,000, but having an opportunity to really like just do what I love to do, that's it.
Or is it that phrase that I've been hearing for the last 10 years, until before now? Because that this story right here is what the definition of what your album coming out until before now. I never understood that title until now. Just so you're aware.
Let me preach, brother. Let me tell you something. Until before, like I said earlier, you got to go through it to get to it, right?
Right.
So until before now, I had to go through that before. I had to go through that triumph. See, we building it right now. I had to go through that. In order for me to give it to you like I'm going to give it to you or like I have been for the last 20 plus, I had to go through those stages of life, betrayal, dishonesty, love. I had to go through all of that to understand or even know what a triumph is. Obstacle and all of that, man. We all go through it, but you got to go through it to get to it in life, period. I don't give a fuck who you is. You got the most money in the world. I don't give a fuck what you do. You got to go through it to get to it. So it's an everyday battle, man. But I just know that being able to create is like the best spiritual method that I could have for myself right now. Because I couldn't reach it. I couldn't attain it before when I was in prison. I could have went and did the what is it? Kairos. I was a part of Kairos, but the godly thing that everybody go to once a year or whatnot, and you get to sit in there and civilians from the street, they come in and bring you real food and all that. I delivered myself to God. I transformed my life while I was in prison, but to be able to get out and actually show that you can actually make it, that's the triumph.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got the album Until Before Now, which full circle, I understand the definition. You got your clothing line, which is Raymond Marcus Collection.
Yes, sir.
Which, I've seen lots of gear. You're out and about. You're kicking it back and hobnobbing with your friends, celebrities. So hey.
Hell yeah.
Well, I see the triumph. I see the glory and the triumph from your story, and you're living proof that, hey, you know what? You can go through struggle, but you can still reform and live.
That's all I want to get to. That's the message that I need to get to these kids, bro. When I tell you this, when I go into the story that I'm gonna tell you about, bro, it's gonna make these kids see. But they're, even though you seen it, like, I mean, let me say this: when you close to somebody, man, and you seen them struggle for so long, you want them. It's kind of like you want them to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could hate the motherfucker. You could be like, you know what? I can't stand her. I can't stand him. But I know that this is all I've seen him do or her. He got to make it. Something got to crack off. So look how far we've come now. Not just me, but you and your circle and Boogie and what we doing. Look at what we doing now to reach millions of people, bro. It's about connecting the dots and crossing your eyes and dotting your eyes and crossing your T's, bro, and making sure that we keep this thing going to where, being a mentor that's being a big brother, that's a big call, but who else is going to do it?
Absolutely.
Where does it start?
Amen. And what I wanted to say is that your what does triumph look like? I mean, to echo exactly what I was gonna say is that what today is triumph, because you are triumphant already. I mean,
Right
to
on.
have endured what you have endured, to have not been broken, but yet come through with an entire resoluteness to persevere and endure, and but take the time that you had to war with yourself, to conquer yourself, to be able to impart that wisdom and be able to impart and share this story. That's the reason why it's been important for us to have been quiet for 2 hours, to allow you to say everything that you've had to say, because it needs to be said. And
Right.
it's not,
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, your story is beautiful. It's difficult, it's horrible, it's tragic, but it is triumphant. And you are triumphant right now. And don't let anyone define you. I mean, everybody has
Of course.
and faces their own struggles in different ways. But look, man, you've faced a lot, and the fact that you are taking that time and putting it back into the youth, which I've echoed it throughout the entire thing, like to be able to give any type of pain endured and wisdom gained, and not pass it down, and not have
A
a, a,
generational
a
curse.
it has been my entire life, is to be focused on breaking generational trauma and helping anybody else that wants to take that path along with it, to empower them to do that. So thank you for allowing this platform to be you know a tool to help bring awareness to what you have going on, man.
Everybody, you know what, Ghost Boogie, and I appreciate that, man, and everybody that's connected today. We all brothers. We say it all the time, and it may be lame as hell, brothers from another mother, whatever the case, but we brothers right now, because everybody got a story. I'm just the front man for right now, for today, and so when it comes to someone else living their life or being able to tell their story, there's many other stories that are worse than mine, and we know this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the gratification that I get out of all of this is being able to give back to my community, because I was one of them homeless kids, one of them children that was abused, who got whooped and, thought it was, overkill, where I didn't really do too much to get this or deserve this. Then you beating on my mom, and I'm wanting to, to this day, I got animosity with my peoples, but, God willing, he going to see me through that, because life is short. But there's just a lot of fuckery type stuff, man, that I can't accept, um, from another grown man to a woman, and abuse is one of them. So to say that, to say this, is that I've come a long way, and I appreciate the acknowledgement of how far I've come, because we're going to go through it every day. But I think as long as we understand, like, all of this is a lesson, it's a test, to see how strong you are. Like, we're all made in the image of God, man. So think of what he went through, and your struggles you ain't went through shit compared to what God went through, man. And no matter who you believe in, I'm not the most sanctified. I don't go to church every Sunday. I'm sitting here having some wine while I'm talking to you guys, smoking a joint. You know what I mean? But I can still talk about God because that's who I believe is my higher power. Whatever you believe in is what you believe in. I don't have no say so on that. Um, but I know that he's brought me out of the fire many times. I've walked to my mailbox and there was a check in there, a commission check from a job I worked 4 years ago, knowing my lights is about to get turned off. But I had a commission check in my mailbox, didn't even know about it, forgot about it, but it was just there. I met somebody named Wheezy and shit that had more connections than anybody I've ever known, and that was just because I moved to Colorado. So I don't know what everybody else's calling is, or I don't know, what I could tell people in order, I have some words of wisdom that I want to leave for the kids after this is all said and done, and I think we're coming up to that point. But Boogie, I'm gonna throw it back on you, man. To end it off, or if you got anything else you want
to. Well, here's what I mean.
Because I got all night.
I'm gonna leave it how you want to leave it because.
Can I jump in real quick?
You guys feel free because I think the biggest part. Hold on, let me just say this before you say that. I think the biggest thing that has been the most important thing that you should have shared is what I wanted you to share was what you've just shared, and there's no other questions that I can ask.
All right. I got a lot more to share though, but I'm just saying.
I know, but like, fam, like there's nothing about Holly Weird even makes a single fucking different. It doesn't what you've endured and what your story is and what you've gone through. I know what the people want to hear, but I'm just saying.
I don't have to say it.
Respect to you as a man. Yeah, like I can't ask you any other questions right
and
now.
I don't want to. I mean, Boogie. I mean, or Wheezy. I'm gonna let you have a platform or whatever. But Wheezy, back to you, man. Is because I know how this thing goes. Yes, I have a clothing line. It's called Raymond Marcus Collection. I'm wearing it, and I got it on my shirt with the microphone on it. But it's Raymond Marcus. It's on the back too. I'm looking for some brothers to help me establish like a website so we can get this movement going. There's some influential people that are wearing it right now that are already in the industry. So in order to make it bigger, maybe we can all come together and blow this Raymond Marcus collection out the water by just us connecting like we do or like we are tonight. Weezy, I know you had a question, but I'm gonna kind of just get off of this situation.
Yeah. So how does anybody who want to help you with your cause, with helping the children, get your book out there, get your music, talk to you, go to church with you? How do they get a hold of you?
Social media.
Yes.
Social media.
Tell them about it.
Instagram, Marcus Raymond Official. That's pretty much, I don't do the TikTok X, or I do TikTok, Marcus Raymond Official on there as well. You can find it on TikTok. Twitter, which is now X. I don't do too much of that. It's just too much, as you get older, with this technology and whatnot, there's ways that you can make all of it do one at one time and all this stuff. But Instagram for me right now, I do have a TikTok. We don't know where that's going to go here in the next couple of months, if they're going to ban it or whatever the case may be. It'll probably be something else after that. But for right now, man, if they don't know you, Boogie, or, they don't know anybody here, Instagram will be the way. And that's Marcus Raymond Official. So just as it sounds, one word, Marcus Raymond Official. And I'm maxed out on Facebook, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you on there. But that's Marcus Raymond as well with 2 S's. So MARCUSS and then Raymond on Facebook. But I'm maxed out, so Instagram would be the way to do it.
Jump in the DMs.
So check it out, man. The link is to the link tree, and all of his pages are in the description on the YouTube. I want to let everybody know the Facebook is being Facebooked again because for whatever reason, Facebook decided that B-boys no longer fit the criteria to be able to stream. So on it again. So again,
It's all a cycle, man. But you know what? When you
uh,
bringing out the type of knowledge and what your platform is doing, they're gonna hate on it from afar and a distance. They're gonna try so many ways to shut it down. Let me ask you: is this number 62 right here, man?
this is number 62, fam.
We want to say, I want to say congratulations to you for that. Because once you get to over 10, you should have been having glitch problems. You should it should have been just in and out on you after 10 episodes. You on 62? Congratulations to you, brother, and thank you for having me on the show. But and another thing I want to say, man, is to the kids. Like if it was one thing I could tell these kids, man, if I was gonna end this off, and I'm just gonna keep it straightforward. I've been to the white parties. I could tell you now, out of all the people I've spoke about here, it was one of those people that took me. I'm not gonna say who it was, who it is, but I did go. It was a Diddy white party in the Beverly Hills, in the hills. The doors didn't have no hinges on it. You had to give up your phone. There was people in burlesque masks and big ass noses and shit. You couldn't see nothing over their fucking nose because they had these masks on. Eyes wide shut. Doors didn't have no hinges on it. So when I get in there with the homie, he an actor. I'm not gonna say who he is or who he was, but I was invited, and that's how I got in. And it what I saw, it fucked my mind up, and I ain't been right ever since. It didn't happen to me, but I'm gonna give you an example. So we get in there, they give me the mask to put on. I ain't put it on yet. Because I ain't, with the bullshit. So I was like, let me just see, let me mingle, let me see what's going on. But everybody got them on. Everybody. I don't know who's who. It could have been Hillary Clinton. It could have been Halle Berry. It could have been, Vivica. I don't know. I got to go to the bathroom though. So my homie, he's like, well, go make a left, make a right, left, right. I said, shit. All right, I'm finna go find this shit. So I go find it, but I'm making the lefts and the rights, and so I'm having a hard time. It's a mansion. I'm like, nigga, I ain't never been here before. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. This party ended up being an initiation party for a new artist. It was kind of like that type of time. So by the doors not having no hinges on them, you could see a lot of shit that was going on, as you are aware. But at that age, man, I don't think I was supposed to understand what I was seeing or what was going on. And so this particular person, as I'm going to the bathroom, they got no doors on the bathrooms, fam. How you taking the shit or whatever you do in there with no doors? So, but I'm seeing shit as I'm getting closer, I think, to the bathroom. I'm seeing shit happening already. Then I'm like questioning, like, what the fuck? Get to the bathroom, handle my business, wash my hands. I'm about to come back. Now I'm really lost because I'm thinking it's dark. It's deep, but the music is like do 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 do. It's that house, music type shit. So I'm like, damn. My mind is kind of. I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. My shit ain't spiked. At least I don't think, because I'm able to walk around and still be cool. And I think y'all know who I'm talking about. So this is the type of party I'm at. I'm like, well, shit, what's going? So all the time I'm trying to find my way back to my homie. There's women naked, fully naked, painted with old boy face on it or his body. It's him on them, but they walking around with platters. Like they just here this one is, here it is. So I'm like, yeah, let me get that. I'm shit, whatever. Let me get that, Yeah. Find the homie as I'm going back though. I look over here and what I seen in that room, I'm gonna leave it right there. I ain't gonna say nothing else about what I saw. I'm gonna let you get the book and you can read the rest of the story from there. But I'm gonna just tell you right now, it was old boy in that room that y'all know about that I'm gonna talk about.
That dude that be up in everybody's music videos,
all up in everybody's music videos and stuff. But look,
take that.
But it wasn't take that. It was just you needed to get up out of there. Like you, as a man, don't be nowhere where there's no lights on. Period.
Oh,
So let me
man.
just say this too to the kids is what I'm saying, because that's where I was gonna drop off at, because I wanted to just take y'all there because I'm already in the party. I'm already in the white party. I'm already seeing, and just think at that age when you're trying to be influential or you're trying to be creative, you're trying to really, partner with these people. You're trying to bump elbows with these niggas, like. But then you look and you see that. So me and dude locked eyes, right? So he look at me, I see him, he see me, and I do, when somebody look at you real quick and you just turn away real quick and keep walking. So I'm like, like this now, because I'm thinking this nigga didn't saw me. I go back to my homie and shit. I'm gonna leave it because I'm not gonna tell you what I saw, but when I got to the homie, I was like, I'm out of here. He's like, first of all, why you ain't got your mask on? He questioning me on why I ain't got my mask on. I think I just came from the bathroom, washed my hands and shit. I ain't gonna be up in there with no mask on. I was like, but are you staying? He was like, yeah, man, I gotta, this what I gotta do. And I said, all right, well, I'll catch you later, homie. Yeah, got up out of there with my life and that virgin hole.
It go down at the white parties. There's no.
But for the kids, man, learn a trade. Learn a trade. See, we got to do better as men too. And I'm gonna end it, man. Like we got to be more responsible and accountable, for these kids' lives. And so I can't be the only one to do it. I can't be the only one to go to these schools and talk to these kids and tell them the same stories I'm having with you guys, man. And those is just my truths. This is Truth Sunday. All lies will be exposed, like Cat Williams said, in 2025. So this is just my life and what I went through. So anybody that's going to try to rebuttal it and say, oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. I got receipts. I got proof. I know motherfuckers that, and I always carry people around me. So it's 2 or 3 people. So try to come with some lawsuits or something and say it didn't happen. I want my $30 million Cassie payday. And, yeah, we can see each other in court, but, Jaguar, right. She out here handling her business, telling her story. I want everybody to really look out for Enough Said, the podcast coming up, because that's gonna be the truth. Omar gonna be on there. We're gonna have the Outlaws on there, Noble, Edie Amin, Snoop Dogg. The list is gonna go on and on, but we're gonna invite everybody here to do the same thing. I could have sent y'all a link, man, yesterday to be on the Omar shit. With me, but I didn't know what type of platform it was going to be. We were talking about God, and Miguel Nunez Jr. was on there, man, from Juana Man. If y'all don't know who he is, go look him up. He got some.
We'll get on the next one. Let us know. We'll all jump on the next one with you.
Yes, and I got a message from Omar right now that was like, man, I love you, brother. The next one I do, we on. So we'll all jump on that. If I haven't done my Enough Said podcast, but to these young kids, man, I think I can really say it starts at home, really, with the parenting, man. If there's no fathers in the household, where do we expect these young boys to get it from? Like, I just told you my story right now. I didn't have nothing but the streets, really. And I fucked that off big time. Could have went pro, could have followed in the footsteps of Lucius Harris, my cousin. He played for New Jersey Nets, Cleveland Cavaliers. Had a mask on his face because he broke his nose. Go look him up. Played with Jason Kidd. LeBron James his first year in Cleveland. All my family is hoopers, hustlers and hoopers. But they didn't teach me shit. So that dope, all that drug, all that shit I was trying to get off and didn't know what I was doing, I could have put myself in the line of fire. But God willing, I didn't have to take that route. So to these kids, or to you kids out there, I would tell you now to buckle it up, because your resume ain't going to look too good when you get out in the real world trying to go find a job talking about you a rapper. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna get you nowhere far. Jail cell or a coffin, that's about the only thing I know. Or in the LGBTQ community, LMNOP. But that's your choice. You got choices. And that's the one thing that God gave us is our free will and choice. But don't throw your life away because you want to rap. You know what I mean? And art is art. Like I said, I can't be hypocritical and say that because I do it. This is what I love doing. But it's gonna take more brothers, influential brothers like ourselves, man, that have a heart for these kids and not like No Diddy or Enough Said. It ain't like, that just love these kids, man, to see them want to do right and be leaders in our communities. We got to, who you think the next leaders is going to be? It ain't us. It's going to be our kids. So that's why I'm out here pushing so hard for them, man, is because we not the ones that's going to be here left in about 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? It's going to be our kids. So in this business, Have you a lawyer? If you don't got a father, if you don't got somebody in your ear telling you this and that and the other, don't wait for the labels to give you their lawyers. Go get your own lawyer. If you can't afford one, you ain't ready. Like Jay-Z said, if you're gonna do the crime and shit, you're gonna do the time. Look where this nigga's at. Look what's about to happen to him. You guys are gonna be very shocked here in a little bit when you see the list of names they about to come with that's involved with all of this, and they all knew it. They all knew it. You know what smoke and mirrors is? Yeah, that's what's been blown in our face the whole time. That's what's been thrown in our face. Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. Because it ain't all what the fuck it seems. I can promise you that. Smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke and mirrors. So if you can see through that, own your own shit and go learn a trade, kids. Stay off the drugs. Look at Rich Homie Quan. Look at the shit that we going through right now. Learn a trade. Plumbing. They paying $200,000 a year right now. I promise you. It ain't enough plumbers in the world. Come on, man. If you don't want to
think
go to
for
school,
yourself.
if you don't want to go to school, or if you don't want to, go learn your education, then learn the music production. Do that side of it. You don't got to be in front of the camera in order to make money. I write music. How much money you think I make in my catalog? How long you think my catalog is? I don't have to be in front of the camera or drop an album. That's what I'm trying to work on. But it don't mean that it has to come out, because I got other entities. I got other things going on in the fire. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to be in front of the camera to make money, kids. Be smart. Get on them production pads. Get on them dolls. Learn that shit. Come on now. Weezy was walking around motherfucking Watts with a bag full of motherfucking equipment ready to go. We'll go to Watts to do it. I love you to death, man. I appreciate y'all having me on here. If y'all want to get in touch with me, man, just DM me, Marcus Raymond, on Instagram. It's just, wait for that book to come out, Tragedy to Triumph.
No doubt.
April 5th. If it doesn't come out, it's because of legality shit. I can't really talk about too many of these people I told y'all live. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have. That's why I say get your lawyer up. Make sure that if the D game is what you're trying to get into, or you trying to do some hustling shit, just be able to pay that bail money. Because you going, they're gonna get you. Somebody gonna snitch on you. One of your homies you think is your homie is gonna snitch on you, and you're done for. Look at young boy, all these NBA, all these cats done for. Done for, because look what they did. Yeah, they was independent, but they relied on another motherfucker to tell them, oh, well, here's how far you can go. Nah, you ain't telling me how far the ceiling I can go. I can go way further than that if I did it on my own. But see, it ain't too many of us brothers, and I won't say black, I say brothers as men that put our money together and make it happen. I got a trucking company right now. If I had $10,000, we'll make that every month. Just off me. Just if I had $10,000 right now, which I don't. I'm not saying I'm rich. I know how to go get it, but I'm not rich. You see what I'm saying? So if I could go to somebody and be like, hey man, you come up with 5, I come up with 5. Let's be partners in this business. You ain't got one person you can call right now to even do that with you. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But look for other ways to make money, because it's out there. You don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to be an R&B singer. You don't have to be a comedian. You don't have to put on and shuck and jive for these motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying. There's more ways to make money up out here besides killing each other. Not on my watch, because if I trust and believe, if I was in one of y'all households, it'd be something else different. I'm telling you, because I go hard for the little kid. I go hard for the boys, man. Because I was one of them boys that was getting abused by a grown-ass man that was my dad. I thought loved me. So I know for all the kids out there that's getting whooped on and all that, I don't want no sympathy. I just had to go through it to get to it. Look where I'm at right now. I'm in the triumph part of my life on a podcast with B-Boys Underground and my homies. It can't happen. You just got to be patient. Have faith. Be patient. I love y'all, man. Let's do it again.
Oh, we most definitely gonna do a part 2 for sure.
Let's do the part 2, man. When the book come out, that's when we should do it after that, because I want people to see all this shit was no gimmick. This ain't no fluff. This is shit that can be researched. You can find out about it. I know all the homies that was in the pen with me. They all on my Facebook, all on my Instagram. We talk about it every day. But just watch out for me though, because I got some more shit coming for y'all, man. I'm an entertainer. It's the way it is, and I want to entertain. This is what I want to do until the casket drops. So I go hard at it. So anybody want to network? Y'all want to do some shit together? Let's do it. Let's put our money together and make some money, man. Some real money, and get these frauds out the way. Let's get them out the way.
Yes, sir.
That's how
Yes,
we do
sir.
it. But I love y'all, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We love you too, man.
Hell yeah.
Everybody, round of applause for the one and only Marcus Raymond, y'all. I got no disrespect. I can't. All right, but yo, man,
Clap with one hand, Boogie. Come
yeah,
on.
it's like let's do that, man. Nah, but look,
Nah, just-
Big Weez, shout outs, fam.
Hey, yeah, man. Shout out to the whole Twitch family, the Oklahomies, everybody that joined in on YouTube today. Shout out to Boogie. Shout out to Mad Ways. It's been a while. It's been too long. My apologies. Definitely needed to do this again sooner. Shout out to my boy Marcus Raymond. Thank you for being on the show, man, and bringing me back to my heart. It feels good to be doing this again, y'all.
Hell yeah. Hey man, you know what? Continued success to everybody, man. No matter what you're doing, keep your head up. You know, there's a lot of haters out there, man. But 2025, let's not go into it doing the same thing, man. We got to do something different. That means we got to bump elbows with other people we ain't never known, never seen before, whatever. So we can touch each other. Look where we at right now, and we still on this shit. You know what I mean? So it feel like we in the same room together, but we not. We all across the world right now. Let's keep that
Worldwide.
connection going, brothers.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
New Year to everyone.
Mad Ways, shout outs.
Shout out to Marcus Raymond, man. Thank you for pulling up and telling us your story. It was a dope episode to end the year with. Shout out to all the B-boys and B-girls in the chat. Shout out to my B-boys brothers, Big Weez, Ghost Boogie, and G-Fresh that wasn't here tonight. Big love to y'all. And I can't wait for 2025, man. I know B-boys about to be popping. We've been lining some shit up, and yeah, make sure you guys are tuned in with us. We're gonna have a lot of regular episodes and pop-up ones. So
Oh yeah,
make sure y'all tuned in. Big love.
Marcus Raymond, shout outs, final.
Man, shout out to first of all and foremost God, man, for allowing me to just be here to tell my story the way it is. The way that it, sometimes you get a bad rap for the things that you've been through, but they don't know the person until you sit down and talk to them. So thank you, Ghost Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Big Weez.
Thank
I
you.
love you like a brother. Everybody really on here. You know, Weez, we go a long way back. Mad Ways, we new brothers in Christ, man. And so I think big things is about to happen. But just first and foremost, God, man, and to just keep us all safe and our families, man, for 2025. It's about to be a big year for you, B-Boys Underground. So, just stay vigilant in what you do, man, and stay sucker free, man, because there's a lot of them out here, man, that I don't think they know which way they're going. But if they see this and they see the brothers that, got something like this going, they'll be inspired, just like I am by just being with y'all, man. So keep inspiring.
Salute.
With that being said, keep positive, keep pushing, keep persevering, and stay present, y'all.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
see you next time. 2025, here we come.